one.
What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Tell me why you're shameless.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, Episode 1. Again, I'm at Ref Marsh. We're at WTR, the show. With me today, a little change of pace, but not. We got Mr. Justin Time. What's going on, man?
What is up? Thank you for having me back on. Always love a good return trip to the dive bar.
Truly, it's always remarkable when you make it for Episode 1, if I'm being honest. Amanda will be joining us at some point. She did not watch NXT, so I thought, hey, me and Justin can get started. We could talk NXT. Then when she jumps in, I'm sure she has a lot to say about AEW, and you're obviously welcome to stay for that too. Dude, it's going to be a busy weekend, and we had a whole bunch of go-home shows this whole week. You know what I mean?
This freaking weekend is stacked. Holy hell. I love these kind of weekends.
It's a lot to it's one of those things where it's kind of like your friends ask you if you're busy or something. You're all like, well, yeah, but I'll be home if you need anything. Let's start with something simple. What's in your glass? What are you drinking?
Well, I decided to be like Kel from Keenan and Kel and love orange soda. I do. Who?
Hell yeah. We have the Good Burger cars out here.
Love it.
One of the diners has it outside of their thing, and it's supposedly the one from the movie.
That's so awesome. God, I love that movie as a kid.
I love driving by it because it's just like the front of the car is a big burger. So it's great.
That's so good.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm having, because you're always having soda, I thought I would try a soda. I'll have some booze on hand just in case. So we can see what it's like to mix it too. But Coca-Cola has another limited edition soda, 0 sugar, which is how I have my soda with no sugar. But it's Dreamland. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Dream World. I imagine it's got to be kind of like, remember they did that Starlight one that was supposed to taste like space?
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be similar, where they just add one flavor to their Coke recipe.
It's supposed to taste like space?
That's what they said.
How does Coke know what space tastes like?
Dude, they have researchers. This tastes very
They send them up there and just go, okay, take a nice inhale, and what do you taste?
Actually, it smells a lot like an orange.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's like a Coke mixed with orange soda.
Interesting. Way to go, Coke.
I feel like all these limited edition ones is where they're taking the Coke recipe and then they just add a flavor. Like the Starlight one was basically tasted like Coke with strawberry in it.
That sounds so good, man. I wish we had got that here. I don't actually remember that. Like, that's pretty interesting.
It's pretty decent. You know, it didn't like change my world. But I'm also not a big cola drinker. Even when I drink sodas, it's usually not a cola. You know, It's like a Dr. Pepper or a root beer. I'm into sarsaparillas.
Yeah. Sarsaparillas.
Yeah, you guys have sarsaparillas up there in New York proper?
Not that I know of.
I feel like it's a Southwest thing. I bet you there's a few places that do, because I feel like when I was in New York City, that some of the bodegas would have sarsaparilla, but it was only by like a couple, or maybe it was like Whole Foods or something. Like you had to find it, and every now and again I'd have it as like a like back home. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's it's a Southwest thing, sarsaparilla. I don't know. I like it. So we're gonna find out what this is like with tequila as well, because I have Terramana here that we got to get through. So
nice Terramana.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Let me see. I should pull out some notes. When Amanda shows up, we'll let her do the birthdays, but until then, we're just going to keep it moving. How you been, man? How do you feel about that? So I felt I've already named the show Go Home A Palooza because Monday Night Raw was the Monday Go Home show before Cardiff. When we get to SmackDown, it's going to be the Go Home SmackDown before Cardiff. NXT was the Go Home before Worlds Collide. And Dynamite was the Go Home before All Out. And their Rampage is going to be the Go Home Rampage before All Out.
Yeah, it's Go Home A Mania right now.
Yeah, dude, it's all of it because everyone's doing a pay-per-view or premium live event this weekend. Dude, the idea to have, like, basically the Raw SmackDown big blow-off here. I mean, it's in a stadium, too. Like, this isn't a small show. This is...
Yeah, no.
And they're building it like a Mania in a lot of ways.
I wonder why somebody called it Castlemania at one point. And I was like, that fits so well because it does feel like a WrestleMania card. But it also feels like a takeover because it has very few matches on it.
It's true. I actually like Castlemania more than I like the name Clash of the Castle. I don't like the Clash name.
It would have been fine if they called it Castlemania. Then you could have literally put it as another WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, the way they're trying to say Crown Jewel was the WrestleMania of house shows, but they were trying not to say it was. And yeah, if you're in a stadium, if you got 100,000 people in there, yeah, just call it Mania.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there's that. NXT's having their premium live event the next day in the morning, and then that evening AEW's doing their pay-per-view. So all of these ones have been like leading up, and it doesn't leave us room to not compare. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to compare things all the time. But it's very rare that they're all putting their best foot forward at the same time for the same weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I'm amped for all three shows. I can't wait. Like they're all going to be freaking awesome in their own way. And I'm just going to enjoy all three of them as much as humanly possible.
I'll be honest. There was only... What the hell? Oh, yeah, I guess that... Wait, no. Did I miss that? Oh, no, I remember that. There's only one match on All Out that I'm curious about. The rest of them, I actually just don't even care how it ends.
Yeah, I can see it. I can agree with you on some points. But again, I'm going to enjoy them while whatever the hell we get out of them. So
it's true. And I would say even I've seen overall online a lot of people who are not pleased with their build. And we'll talk about it in a bit. But still excited for matches. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you either, if you weren't that interested before, you're probably not that interested now. If you really like the idea of the matches on paper to begin with, then you kind of don't care how we got there anyways. It's kind of what it's almost feeling like, which is neat.
Sense. Yeah.
It's neat. Not the worst way to watch.
Yeah. There's just some I'm not like too crazy about, but again, I'm just going to enjoy them for whatever the hell they are at this point.
Yep. I'm doing it. I'm pouring some tequila in there. This better be good because I'm about to choke down the whole thing.
What is it?
It's the soda that you yelled at me about.
Some good old Terramana. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, check it out. Twice in a lifetime. Yeah.
There we go.
John Cena.
There we go.
Actually, if you look at the bottles, they even have like faux signatures of both guys on them too in red. Both in red. It's harder to see probably, but yeah.
Cena's like, Dwayne did that? I guess I'll do it too.
Yeah. What's that jabroni doing?
He's got his own liquor. Hell, fuck, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
Sponsor. I'll be like part of it as well. So
dude, I can't wait for when he finds out that Cody has his own cigar. Cause
oh god, that's awesome though.
Yeah, Cody has his own cigar line. It's called American Rebel. I've actually really enjoyed them. I actually got to have one with him once. They actually did one of the Starcast 2 or 3 or something, the Double or Nothing Starcast. They had a meet and greet where it was you bought a cigar and you went out to the patio and you had a cigar with Cody. Like they had a thing, got a picture and stuff, and
that's so cool.
You didn't have like the whole thing with him, but you kind of spent a couple minutes there talking with him while you guys are both having it and talking about it. It was really cool. Nice event. But
God, every wrestler in like WWE and AEW just make your own liquor, just and everything. Even Bailey, make your own. Just it would be
Carmella
awesome.
has her own wine.
I know Mela does. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's cool. Like I just like to see other people like branch out to that kind of stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love that stuff, and I like supporting them because it's stuff that I like. It's always like the frustrating thing for me when some of these wrestlers will branch out into other things. Sometimes they branch out into stuff that I'm not that interested in. It's like, look, I want to support you, but I'm also not going to spend my money on things I don't want.
Yeah.
You know? So, booze is something I'll try. But let's talk about it, dude. Let's talk some NXT as we're getting ready for Worlds Collide. Dude, so today was the last NXT UK show. Did you watch it?
No, I did not.
I did not either. I thought I might, but I knew that no one else was going to. But from what I heard, the final matches was like they went out. But they also filmed a few weeks back. You know what I mean? We knew, and they knew. It's sad to see NXT UK go because I feel like that so much good came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Producer lady, that was the one show a week that she didn't want to miss. Like, if she didn't watch all of Raw or SmackDown, she'd be like, did I miss anything? Or, who won this match? Like, she would never just go back and watch it. But if NXT UK went by, she'd come running home and she'd be like, hey, can we put it on? Or, I know this was on yesterday. Can I watch it today? You know what I mean?
1 hour.
Yeah, it's 1 hour, and all the matches were really impressive. It was a mix between... I mean, it was like NXT where you're seeing people develop, but you're also watching people who've been doing it a long time, so... It really felt like a nice balance and a different style, and yeah, it's a shame to see it go, but I do hope that what that means is that a good chunk of them bring that style to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I had fallen off watching it, but I used to watch it religiously. I would add it to my weekly thing, and I just watch it every time, and it was just when we got towards the pandemic and everything, I just fell off it completely, and then it's just I wish I had gotten back on it before it disappeared like it did, but I'm interested to see what NXT Europe is going to be like.
Yes, I hope that a lot of them come back to that too. The pandemic was an interesting time for them because I felt like they really struggled with the lack of audience, but they almost went above and beyond when it came to the striking, which is already kind of a strong style. If you weren't going to hear the audience, you were going to hear the pain. And it was pretty sick. That was, I believe, Ilya and Walter was with no audience, right?
Yeah, that was awesome, actually. That's still just as good. Hearing those chops and everything else, it just sounds so good. It's I just watched Stardom. I just watched a Stardom episode yesterday, and again, they have no commentary. And again, you know how Japan's crowds are just they're quiet until something big happens, and then they start making noise, and it's just watching them wrestle, and you can hear every shot. And I was just I feel like I wasn't going to like it as much because it had no commentary, but the fact that it had no commentary and you could hear everything, I was I think I enjoy this just a little bit more than I thought I was going to. It was just so good.
Huh. That is interesting. Have you seen, because you've watched NJPW, I'm sure, at different times. Maybe not religiously, but you've seen stuff.
Not a lot recently, but I have watched it. A lot.
Yeah, I've watched hours and hours of it, different spots here and there, or I'll watch this match or that, or I'll watch a Wrestle Kingdom from time to time. I don't, it's not can't miss for me, but it is something I will search out from time to time. Mm-hmm. I don't know if commentary that I don't understand is better than the silence of no commentary. What if it was commentary that you don't know what they're saying other than hearing their excitement in their voice and their tone, do you feel like that brings something to it? Just because you've recently watched one without commentary, I'm just wondering.
I'm accustomed to watching, when I watch New Japan, I'm accustomed to the English commentary. I've watched it a couple times with the Japanese commentary, but it's because I know so many things of what they're doing, who they are, and all this other stuff like that. I can just kind of overlook the Japanese commentary. It's just there to kind of fill the silence.
Mm-hmm.
But it's with Stardom, how they have no no commentary there. It's just like, I don't know, it works for them. Like listening to New Japan do it, it's just like you either have the English commentary or you have the Japanese commentary, and either way it works, because it's just like if you've watched enough of it, the Japanese commentary doesn't bug you. But it's like if you're watching it with the English commentary, it's like watching any other wrestling show. You're just getting commentary with it.
For sure. I'm not saying that like Japanese commentary like draws me out of it or anything like that. But like you said, sometimes I almost feel like I just leave it on because it's noise. You know what I mean? Like just hearing tone is enough to get a little bit like, oh, they're really excited about that. Like, but I've also seen it with English commentary, and sometimes the stories are there, sometimes they're not too. So I don't think I've watched one deliberately without commentary by the promotion. Right? I've definitely turned off commentary. I've definitely watched entire episodes of AEW on mute. But that wasn't their decision, that was mine, you know. And even then, most of the time I do that, I go ahead and put on a podcast, so I'm like multitasking wrestling input. So like, I'm going to listen to JR break down SummerSlam of 98 while I'm watching AEW Dynamite this week, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to really just soak it all in.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I didn't expect me to, like, I thought with no commentary, I'd be like, I like this, but it's weird without commentary. But just like watching it, I was just like so immersed into it that just having no commentary just didn't bug me at all.
I think I would like it in a lot of ways because, like I said, if I've turned off the audio, then I've turned off a section of the show, right? Like you said, you can hear the strikes. You can hear them taunting each other. You might not know the words they're saying, but you can see the feeling on their face as they say this thing, and you can see the person receive it. Like, without the tones, I think, like you said, it's probably more easy to get immersed in it. I feel like that when I watch any wrestling show without the audio on, that you can see through it sometimes. It's easier to see the disconnects or the missed timings and stuff because you've got nothing but the visual to distract you from the overall thing. I know this has got to like a weird philosophical commentary booth conversation, but I have noticed that, like, especially because like AEW is one of the primary ones where I'll turn off the audio because like some of their commentary can, in the past, I've liked it recently, but some of it in the past has been absolutely grating, and so I find in those times it becomes much easier to see the misses, where I feel like that without it, it's probably easier to get lost in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you have the audio but not the commentary. Kuro's in the chat says, I was told it was the go home show, so I left and went home. It was good while we had him. MsAmandaJayne just popped up just to hang.
Hey.
We were talking Stardom and their lack of commentary, but
well, that could be a good thing though sometimes.
Yeah, that's what he was kind of saying, was he got like dragged into it, like he got immersed into the audio of the match.
Yeah, you don't need it necessarily. I think sometimes that with any Japanese wrestling, some commentary just is a little too much. I mean, I obviously don't speak Japanese, so I'm not sure what they're saying, but I mean, some of them are just probably as annoying, some commentators, as JR and other people.
Yeah,
Jericho.
I can't say that about Rocky and Kevin Kelly. Like, I love
no.
fucking wonderful.
No, those two are the ultimate. And also, I will say this: I also like Juicy Gambino too. Whenever he gets to go up on the mic over there in New Japan, I mean, the one who kind of sometimes I think gets really, and I don't know which one it is, but someone on New Japan, and I'm pretty sure it's not the guy that likes Evil, and when LIJ was around, he'd have the little.
Oh, yeah, and he had
the
thing in his hand. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No, I can't remember his name, but you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, no. Yeah. Isn't that like something Milano? I don't remember.
Yes,
but anyway,
I think so.
I know it's not him. It's not him. I want to say sometimes Jushin Thunder Liger sometimes who gets really like over the top. but somebody does on New Japan, and I'm like, oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I don't know who that. I know who you're talking about. It's
Yeah,
one
you
of
know.
the Japanese commentators. He just gets so into it, like
Yeah.
he's like
Oh,
Kevin Kelly.
and you're
So
like,
I'm like, oh my god.
yeah. And I always think, am I watching that game show? You know how they had that like that version of Wipeout from Japan, that or those weird Japanese like game shows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what he always reminds me of. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm like, was it really that exciting, or am I missing something? Yeah, so that's why sometimes I'd prefer not to have, the listen to the commentary. Yeah, so Stardom's a really good one that I'm like, okay, I can really get into it more so than your, whoever.
It's fantastic to watch. Like as soon as you start watching it, and it's just like you figure you're gonna start hearing like commentary, like just calling stuff and like giving you back stuff, and you're just watching it. It's like, oh wait, there's no commentary, and I'm oddly fine with this, and I'm just like, it really is like it really just depends on the commentary team at this point. If whatever the commentary team is, if they're good, you'll want to hear them talk every time. But it's like when it's a bad commentary team, you're just like, okay, let's just shut this up here.
Now, I will say this. No offense, Ian Riccaboni, but he's calmed down now that he's doing New Japan. But there was a while with Ring of Honor, it was like, oh my God, no. And like you could even tell Colt would get irritated because he would take it way, way too far. So, and Caprice, I like Caprice Coleman. Don't get me wrong, I really do. He's good to have that second seat with Riccaboni, and I'm glad Riccaboni's starting to calm down because sometimes it gets a little too much. I'm like, why are you so excited? This is a kingdom match. Really, I don't think people at home, except for Seven, are really excited.
Shouts to Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. They just won the tag titles on Impact right now.
Great.
That's cool.
Well, his same Seven fans who are the Honor Club girls. Shout out to you, bitches. Anyway.
Do you want to shout out some birthdays, and then we're going to talk NXT?
I sure do. This week, with birthdays, I'm going to actually preface this one. A lot of these people who have birthdays this week are no longer with us, but there's some really good damn people on these lists. So thus, I feel like we should celebrate them. Like, for example, I know it's really bad. Like when I'm like, oh, I don't think there's anybody living this week who's having a birthday. And I feel bad because we did miss a kind of big one last week-ish. Now I forgot who it was, so obviously it wasn't that important.
Mickey James? Mickey James just had a birthday?
No, we said happy birthday to Mickey James. Okay. No, I just don't know who it was. So if we forgot you, happy birthday. But I just don't know. So like today, for example, happy birthdays go out to Bam Bam Bigelow. He was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
Oh, fantastic, man! Fantastic.
Yeah,
I loved him in Major Pain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mad Dog Vachon, happy birthday. Now this next person is alive, and I think he's a pretty fucking cool dude. Happy birthday, Sami Callihan.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like Sami Callihan. He's not their taste, but you know what? Sami Callihan is fucking great. Okay.
Sami
Good people. And I will recommend his wrestling promotion, Pro Wrestling Revolver. That's his promotion. And let me tell you, I think he puts just as much care into that as he does with, because I know I'm pretty sure he's still doing a lot of creative for Impact. So he puts a lot of great care into it. So if you ever go to one of his shows in Iowa, I went to one, or you go to in Ohio, or if you happen to see it on a Mania week, he runs some good shit. So definitely shout out to him. And you'll even see him out there passing out tickets, and if there's issues, you see him out there. I mean, he's totally rad. So definitely a big supporter of his shows, and he's got some good stuff on there too. Rest in peace, Tracy Smothers. I know again another person not a lot of people care for, but I will say this, for what it's worth. I mean, if you've ever gotten to see a Tracy Smothers match, and particularly I saw quite a few at AEW, they were always a great sight to see. Have you ever seen the Grado one?
No, that just sounds amazing.
Okay, Colt, I was there. Colt had filmed the Wrestling Road Diaries on this particular jaunt. That's why I went, because Grado, and oh my god, I wanted to be Grado. The first time I ever met Grado. But he has a match with Tracy Smothers, and it's like fucking one of the best matches like in the history of like comedy wrestling. You need to watch it. It was from No Sleep Till Brooklyn, I believe, is the one. It's a great one. So definitely got to watch that one. And I made an appearance or 2 or 4. Anyways, and then you got Kikutaru and Colt Cabana. That was a gem too. That was great. The bunny. Happy birthday, Allie, Cherry Bomb, however you want to call it. I am purposely skipping somebody, but if you like the one United Empire person who is not Jeff Cobb, definitely not Ocean Spray. Thank you for throwing the crowns up. I will not. I'm waiting for Cobb to take over the United Empire. But anyways, that's just my thing. So I guess happy birthday to the one dude. Another person having a birthday, Awesome Kong. I love her.
Hey.
I love her. Okay.
I'm bummed at how her AEW run went, because I thought
I'm bummed how a lot of her runs went. So
true. She's had bad runs pretty much everywhere. She's been kind of snaky.
Well, no, not when she was with Impact. Impact was probably
her Impact stuff is wonderful. That's the best.
Got some great things with Gail Kim, and I mean, god damn, I can go back and just be. So another happy birthday to someone I love in the WWE universe. Yes, I said someone I love in the WWE universe. Xavier Woods.
Oh,
wow.
Birthday. Yeah. That's another guy, a real cool dude. I met him randomly once. He was at a wrestling promotion I will not mention the name of, but he was there and he's super cool. Super, super cool.
Yeah.
I don't know which version of Sin Cara is having a birthday, but one of the Sin Caras is having a birthday.
Right.
No. If you know
it's
who
just Sin Cara?
Yeah, it's a Sin Cara. I'm like, I don't know which one. So
it must be the original one.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
The
but
new one, because the new one had a longer run than the original.
I don't know. Maybe.
I have no idea.
I don't know either. It's kind of weird. I'm like, okay. Yeah, we'll just like we'll pass through that. Let's see here. Who else we got? Jillian Hall. That's another person who I don't know. WWE. I always cringe when I hear her name. One of my favorites is the child, Wendy Richter, having a birthday.
Nice.
Yep. Ron or Adam, excuse me. His name is Adam now. Happy birthday, dude.
Oh, yeah,
You choose your own narrative. You go, dude. Same with birthdays.
And he's in the rumor mill right now too. Rumor has it he may be coming back. Maybe come back to WWE.
Supposedly on Monday too.
Well, that's not controlling his narrative.
Nope.
EC3 must be having shit fit. Yeah. Well, to everyone who made fun of that, well, you know what? That's how long-lived it was. Got to go where the money is. And obviously, the only person who's bitter is EC3 because nobody wants you.
Too, as a side note, didn't Braun invest a ton of money into CYN?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for him to just drop ship on that one is a little.
Yeah, that's
That'd be
a
an
little.
interesting story to hear.
It's a little
I think
weird.
he realized that isn't going to pick up any traction. Like, after seeing the first few shows from all the screenshots I've ever seen of people who've actually gone to them, like, I wouldn't even want to step foot. I wouldn't even want to put any more investment in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't either. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so many people made fun of it, and I mean, I don't know. I mean,
it just has no traction to it. There's nobody's invested to want to watch that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
A few people, but that's it. They probably had to pay them to to watch, but I don't know. That's not my cup of tea. Oh, and one more person, Hall of Famer Molly Holly.
Nice.
That
That's a
rounds
good
out,
one.
rounds
I
out
loved
our
hearing
birthday.
how much Molly Holly was working with Nikki on the Almost a Superhero gimmick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was awesome.
that's
Well, cheers.
that's really. Yeah, cheers to everybody.
Cheers and happy birthday. What are you drinking there, Amanda?
I've got my pineapple shirt. It's my last one right now.
All right. Quick update
And-
on the Dreamland Cola. It's actually much better with tequila. Remember, I was like, it's all right. Well, with the tequila in there, it's now awesome.
Well, what's the Dreamland Cola?
I think it's like an orange. It's like an orange
Oh.
cola.
Okay.
So it
Well-
feels like they took Coke and then just threw a quarter
Fanta
cup of
in there?
Fanta in it. Yeah.
Fanta and a cutie or something like
Yeah.
that. You know?
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, I'm trying to get this sponsored for us. So technically, right now, it's sponsored, not sponsored. But shout out to Zoku and their cool kind of brands, because now I can have my sponsored, not sponsored anytime and make my own. Today, we have Coca-Cola. I was going to put something else in it, but I decided no, I'm not going to. However, I did try to put pineapple shirt in there, but it was taking too long to freeze, so I got pissed off and said, "Fuck it, I'll just do my Coke." So
Yeah. I still keep working on the Thomas Ashbourne sponsored, not sponsored. Trying to get John Cena's brand to just send me free bottles.
well, first of all, does John Cena follow the podcast?
Yes.
Why aren't we adding him?
We've tagged at him. Here's the other deal. After I went and met him, I tweeted out at him once or twice about the event and got the follow. I didn't ask him for it, but got the follow back.
Nice.
And also like, oh shit, because we talked about it for a long time. Cena was in our first 100 follows. He was like really early on.
Wow.
For the show, not for me. But
The show. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was doing all the advertising stuff through @RefMarsh for a while, and producer lady at some point said, hey, I think we should have a show exclusive Twitter. And I was like, if you want to run it, sure. But I was doing the Instagram, I was doing mine, I was doing the Facebook. Like, it ended up all getting split up between us, and it is what it is now. But she made the WTR the show Twitter account, and I want to say it was like in the 20s that John Cena popped up. And we were like so confused, and we're like, it's got to be a lottery. It's got to be some sort of like, why would we have come across his feed? Like, and then we were like, well, why didn't he follow me at any point? And so finally got the follow right after meeting him, and yeah, it was
That's
pretty
good
cool.
to know that he's at least looking at it, and it's not just like, someone following people because.
Well, I don't know. It might still be that. Like, I don't know. I didn't ask him. I didn't say, hey, did you follow? Like, do you remember our podcast? Like, I didn't say that. Although he did like our shirt. I think I told you that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. And that's what counts. And honestly, I have no shame in my game.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, well, I'm not shocked that he followed me. It didn't take a while. I mean, I think I was an early goer when he started following people, which is weird. I'm like, do you know I talk about your ass and that's why you're following me to spy? So maybe, or he could be one of the many wrestlers who listen to our show.
Yeah, could be.
You'll never know if he listens because you can't see him.
You can't see him and you can't hear us.
Well, we can hear your fart gun.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say.
Mhm. There you go.
That's the Venn diagram where me and John Cena meet.
Yep. Yeah, sadly.
Let's talk some NXT though. We don't need to go segment by segment on these things because it's all kind of building into these massive shows, right? And
Yeah.
Justin, first and foremost, the matches overall on NXT, good, bad, or indifferent?
I thought a lot of them were good. I
So
really
did I.
did.
I thought a lot of them were very good. But when I thought about the show on whole, with as good as the matches were, and there were some fantastic matches, the big stuff, the important stuff, the talking points was everything between the matches.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to producer lady about it before when we had mentioned that Amanda hadn't seen it, and she goes, well, is there like a couple matches she should watch? And I was like, I almost feel like she should just watch everything except the matches, because there was so much happening between matches that, like, yes, the matches were good, but all the talking points were the non-matches.
Yeah, not very much like of importance match wise. It was just all story, like everything else.
Yeah. It did open up with Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller, which we've been building towards. They replayed some of the Grayson Waller effect talk show. What a dick. So good.
Love it.
Dude,
Love it.
what did you like overall? I mean, this was a good match. These guys are great. They worked great together. The eye gouge gimmick they kept going back to, I was like, man.
I like how that played into the finish too. Love that. The equilibrium of his eye, he couldn't freaking see it, and he ended up eating the stunner anyway. I was like, that's perfect. Love how they set that up and everything.
Yeah. I thought it was great. It was a nice little blow off. I mean, it wasn't quite a blow off because obviously Apollo's not gonna stand for that. Do you think he wrestles the next match with like Grant Hill goggles?
That'd be very interesting.
That'd be pretty cool.
Unless he's just gonna hide it under an eye patch and you see him pick it up, and that's when he like zoom in and does this like Terminator thing like he keeps doing.
That's a good point. But I thought it was a great match. And then right after that, well, we had Katana and Kaden against Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. They did show a little thing in the backstage beforehand with Diamond Mind. Paxley wearing the face guard because Ivy broke her face was kind of funny. And it showed a video package for Maiko Satomura. Was this before or after the backstage with Maiko? I don't know. Oh, no. Yeah, that was later. That was before.
That was like later in the show with Mako.
Yeah. And this was a match, too, that I thought was good. I thought they did a clever way to finish it up with Gigi and JC getting involved, with Ivy not being able to get back, and Kaden and Katana hold on to the title. I do think that it's always tough to have underdog champions, but they're still really rolling with them being the underdogs and having them skate by the skin into their teeth a lot. And I think that it would be nice for Kaden and Katana to come off as a lot more like undefeatable as they go. But I think you could build towards that realistically.
Yeah, a little bit at a time.
Yeah, but even then, the real talking point here was after the match. Out comes Dewdrop. Out comes Nikki ASH in silver and black. She's got a new look. Really digging it. Oh,
the Raider fan look.
The what?
I said, oh, she's a Raider fan now.
Yep, she's a Raider fan now. So the black and gold. She was doing blue and gold, then it went to black and gold, and now it's black and silver.
That would actually be hysterical if she pulled the Cena thing, and just every show she goes to, no matter what city, she just wears the sports team colors as her superhero gimmick. I actually wouldn't be against it at all.
Oh, I was going to say, were they in Las Vegas? I didn't think so.
Yeah, they're not in Vegas, first off. Secondly, that would be way expensive. And I'm not saying that they don't make money, but I am saying that the talent pays for their own gear. And those masks that Nikki wears were made by Jason Baker. That's like asking her to get a different Fiend mask for every city. You know what I mean? Like, that's expensive. Although Carmella went through a few, and hers was made by Jason Baker too. But I guess it also comes down to materials, all that, right? But I got to imagine that color coding all of that stuff by city would be a fucking expensive nightmare. Cena just had boots and tights, you know? He just had to get like 2 colors on each thing. She's got the bracelets, or the gauntlets, really, the amulets. She's got the cape, she's got the face mask, she's got the singlet, the boots, the kick pads, and the belt. Like, that's a fucking lot. I can't imagine her gear is less than a couple thousand each.
I mean, she's already cut down the cape, so She's already like in the Incredibles, so they're telling her no capes.
I think she had the cape on. I think she had the cape on. I'll go back and look. I think she had a silver cape underneath the jacket.
I think she just had the jacket on. I didn't see no cape.
All right.
Well, you know,
shouts to Nikki for that stat that I found that somebody put up, that she's now challenged for every women's championship they have now.
Yes, she's the only one to do that because she's one of the only women to have an official 24/7 title match, bell to bell. Like, she's actually challenged for it as opposed to people just chasing for it. She's actually had a match where the 24/7 title was on the line.
I'm talking about, like, she's now challenged. Now, because of this, she's challenged for every women's title now.
That's what I mean. But there's other women who have challenged for most of the titles to include this one, except for the 24/7 kind of a deal. That's what makes Nikki the full complete.
Yeah, that's something they didn't add that to the picture, but they just had her challenging for all the other women's titles, like the Raw and the SmackDown and the NXT and the NXTUK, and I was like, that's an awesome stat for her. I love that.
Cool stat. That's a really cool stat.
She's a badass, and she's so
Take
nice.
That, Charlotte.
I've met her a couple of times randomly, and she's been ridiculously nice and warm. You know what I mean? Like, very, very welcoming. What was that?
I said she looks like a sweetheart. She looks like she's like incredibly nice to talk to. So,
yeah. I'm trying to see if she's got the cape. Yep, here it is. She has a silver cape too. Silver and black cape. There it is.
Cape in, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
Snuck it in. That's what you get for doubting me. Jerk.
Okay, let me ask you, because you watch this. So is Cody coming out in different like coats every week?
No.
Like he was?
No.
Not yet. Give him time.
Well, for one,
Maybe he doesn't make as much money over there. I don't know. Then
Cody
also
had different coats at every one. He didn't have different coats.
Pretty much. Yeah, he did.
He had like
How many patriotic Hamilton-looking coats he had? Quite a few.
That's true.
Obviously, he's recycling them because he's going to have to get Sandra off the AEW payroll and back over to WWE, which will probably happen.
It probably will. Probably will.
Yeah, and because the only person that I know who really depends on her making their gear is the Guevaras. You can only do so much with a fucking panda after a while. It's all ugly anyway. Yeah.
God, I can't wait till Cody comes back, and I can't believe I'm saying those words, especially after the whole bullshit with AEW. But like, I want Cody back already. He needs to like get some Cena superhero healing powers right now. Just come back already.
Yeah. It's funny to me the amount of like people want to ridicule the machine that is WWE and the amount of levels it takes to get something on screen and the amount of compromise that a lot of the guys have to do. And then you see AEW and you know that everything has to go through Tony, but you also know from what we hear that it's very much a permission to try what you want to try and not so much an editing of what you're going for or a compromise or what if we did this. It's just, oh, that's what you want to do? Yes or no, right? Because not everything's going through either. It's really interesting with guys like Cody to see that without direction at a certain point, he lost direction, right? And things started getting really weird because he didn't have a filter and he didn't have someone to help guide him in a big picture way. It got really weird towards the end where it's like, what is going on? Like, he started off so hot for about a year, and then it was a lot of like, what is happening after this? And then to see him in WWE where you know that there's a lot of forces guiding him to just be everything we all wanted him to be to begin with. But it's cool. But either way, back to NXT. Doudrop and Nikki, like you said, Nikki's gonna be competing for the NXT Tag Championships. I like that they said they put over Nikki and Doudrop as both being from NXT UK on commentary, and I thought that was interesting because if Nikki trained in NXT UK, she never would have been on their show. I also think she predates NXT UK. I believe she was in NXT proper before NXT UK became a thing. And I think she had made it to SmackDown before they even had a women's championship. But I'd have to go back and look at the dates, because I don't know off the top of my head. I wish Grim Reaper was in our chat. He's our resident researcher.
The only time he ever challenged for the UK women's title was the Worlds Collide thing, when it was Tony as champion and she fought Bianca and Nikki.
What?
It was Tony. When this was like, that's the only time she's ever she ever challenged for the UK women's title. But I'm pretty sure she was never part of NXT UK ever.
Wait, Nikki challenged for the NXT UK title?
Yeah, it was at a Worlds Collide with Toni Storm when she was champion. It was her, Nikki, and Bianca Belair.
January 2017 is when they did the tournament. In May 2017, did another tournament. 18 tournament. They did a lot of tournaments. The inaugural episode was October 2018. So unless she was in the tournament, which is possible, but even then, those weren't for the women's anything. It was for the UK Championship. Rhea won the inaugural tournament to become the NXT UK champion. I'm pulling up these dates. I'm looking at it. That was established on June 2018. The tournament had Dakota Kai, Nina Samuels, Rhea Ripley, Zaya Brookside, Ginny, Millie McKenzie, Toni Storm, and Isla Dawn.
Yep.
So she wasn't even in the inaugural tournament.
The only time she ever challenged for it was at a Worlds Collide show when Toni Storm was champion.
Do you have the date on that one? You're on your iPad, right? You're on your iPad. Come on, I need more research in hands. What's going on here? I didn't think this conversation was going to get this good. So October 2018 is the inaugural episode. I'm going to look up Nikki Cross debut. Nikki Cross SmackDown debut was November 2018. So she was already out of... She had 1 month overlap between when NXT UK was a thing and when she was even in NXT. She debuted on SmackDown a month after, less than a month, because it was October 17th, this November 6th, so 2 weeks later. There's a 2-week overlap when theoretically she existed in the NXT universe where NXT UK also existed. But, yeah, she was never in it. So you said Nikki Cross NXT UK Championship?
She challenged for it once.
Whoa.
Now, if I can just find it is the question.
2019, she teased going after the title. And you said that you believe it was against Toni Storm? Let's see.
There's Toni and Bianca.
It was a Bianca?
It was Toni, Bianca, and Nikki.
Toni Storm, Bianca Belair. Oh, there it is. Toni Storm versus Nikki Cross versus Bianca Belair. Worlds Collide.
It's the only time she ever challenged that she had anything to do with NXT UK at the time.
Interesting. Worlds Collide, Women Collide, they call it. That match is probably amazing. It's got to be, right?
I believe it was.
But yeah, so I thought it was interesting that they said that they were both from NXT UK, because I also thought it was interesting because, secondly, theoretically, the way they've always done things, Doudrop, in quotes, was never in NXT UK. Piper Niven was. So it's just interesting because they've never mentioned Piper Niven as a name, and they're pulling up some of this older stuff. So, let me see. I'm pulling up the match for the NXT UK Women's Championship Triple Threat. Yep. Nikki Cross, Bianca, and Toni. So there's that. But I thought it was really neat. I do think it's really cool that this was their first tease that, hey, we're going to start utilizing some people on the main roster for NXT to put over Worlds Collide. And now Grim Reaper shows up in the chat after we did all the live on air research he could have been typing away for us. But I thought that was really cool. And I was really happy with that. And I'm glad to see that we're going to see the Kaden Katana against Nikki and Doudrop. I think is pretty cool.
Definitely surprised me, but I am definitely looking forward to it.
What'd you think of the Joe Gacy Schism Grimes thing?
To be honest, that might have been the one thing of the show I did not like.
I feel like it's so misdirected. It doesn't seem to be... Like, it's not connecting as a full story. It feels like every time they come on screen together, you go, oh yeah, I guess they're doing something. You know?
Like, they literally just had him watching Joe Gacy last week, and now this week, it's like, I'm not going to join you. And I'm just like, oh, well, why did you watch him wrestle then last week?
Yeah.
Why did you watch the dyad? Like,
yeah.
It's just so weird. It's a very misconstrued story as a whole right now. It's all over the freaking place.
Especially because, like, we were speculating last week or the week before that Cameron Grimes seems so disconnected from his name, his music, his gear. He's losing everything that made him identifiably a character. That he's becoming so vacant and so clean canvas that it almost felt natural that he will join the schism, because it's kind of that you've lost sight of everything that is who you are. We're going to clean slate you now into this. Like, it could have been an easy layup for Gacy to be like, you've got no direction, let me give you direction, right? But for him to, like, stand his ground and be like, I'm not joining you, and I don't know who the hell I am, was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, just a complete like direction against the entire story. It's just weird.
It was weird. Let's see. The Roxanne Perez video package I liked. She's great. She's going to be amazing.
It was all right, but having her do the whole, like, now our friendship is over. I'm like, your friendship was over the minute she turned her back on you. Like, yes. Why? It was just, I don't know. It's that whole story to me, it still ain't doing it for me. I think they just discombobulated it with that heel turn that just still makes absolutely no sense. It just, I don't know. It's just so hard to invest into it because it just took me out that much right off the bat. Because it's like, I understand where they wanted to go with it. They wanted her to be jealous. And it's like, but you should have just went with the whole slow build to it instead of they just pulled the trigger on it. And now it just feels awkward because now it just feels like I'm jealous of you because we won the tag titles together. And it's just very awkward, very awkward.
It makes no sense. I will say that with Roxanne, the concept of her being like, now it really has nailed in the coffin to our friendship. It can make sense. I mean, friends can butt heads and get mad and have a fight, and then you can say like, "Oh, I thought the fight was going to clear the air, and it didn't." You know what I mean? Like, theoretically, you could twist that around, but the foundation of the whole thing is already so weird that you're just kind of like, okay. I'm just impressed with what she's able to do with what she's given, and the amount of years we have ahead of her because of her age. That I'm all like,
yeah,
she's going to be awesome. Grim Reaper does say Grimes is going to shave his head when he joins them, but he said he's not joining them.
Yes, it's going to happen.
No,
he's going to shave his head, shave his beard, change his name, put the other two opposite contacts in his eyes, like the rest of the dyad have. It's going to be very interesting to watch, but it's like if they can just stay on track on the story.
Yep. Once he does that and joins them, he's going to change his name to Scro Tom.
I can't do this. I can't do this. I've been watching this man wrestle for a long time now. Yep. Mostly in person for years and years. I can't. I just can't. Jesus.
It is very weird. But it's going to happen. And it's going to be.
I'm going to wear a bald cap. He can't. No. Bald cap on him. No.
That'd be funny if you wore a bald cap and it falls off. And Gacy's
that would be funny. But But some of us, anyone who, I don't own it, but a lot of people that I do know who own the Carolina Caveman shirt, yeah, rest in peace to that, because
Yep.
I don't know.
He's already started though. He's got the body hair gone.
I know the body hair.
The beard is now shorter. I was like, see, he's making progress.
I know, but I'm like,
we're gonna get a whole segment of him getting his head shaved.
No, I can't watch that. I will not. I cannot, and I will not watch that. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So Justin, this is where a lot of the stuff that behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but between the matches started to really flesh out too, was that you had Finn Balor approach Braun Breaker. You had Finley hand an iPad to Tyler Bate where Butch was there saying, hey, you got to hold up strong style. You got to show them what's what. Gunther was backstage and putting over Bate, saying you got to show him, you got to be the guy who went 45 minutes with me back in wherever they were. Ciampa goes over to Breaker and says what NXT means and why Breaker's got to uphold that championship. This was a really cool series of backstages where it's all really harnessing the concept of legacy of NXT UK and legacy of NXT and the importance of both of those things and not wanting that to be forgotten, and also reminding people that there is a next step, right? That this all meant so much to people who now mean so much to us. This was part of their growth, and a lot of people never even saw it, right?
And unfortunately, some people get named Butch, and it doesn't match. And this is, yeah.
Telling you, under the Triple H regime, he'll have his name back.
I'm sure. I'm waiting for that, and I'm also waiting for Walter to come back.
I'm fine with the Gunther thing. Actually,
no, that's another weird one.
I got so accustomed to it now. I'm fine with Gunther.
Yeah, it's great. Gunther's
Butch, I hate passion.
Butch is horrible. That is horrible. Okay, here's an elephant in the room that I've been wondering the last couple of weeks. What's happening with Ilya Dragunov then? Is he gone?
He's injured.
Oh, he's injured. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Making
he's
sure
injured.
that
he had to relinquish his title. That was the whole point of the tournament, was to crown a new champion while he was absent.
Okay.
So what's going to happen, obviously,
he'll be in
they're going to
NXT
do
Europe.
This. He's either going to be in NXT Europe or he's going to show up in NXT proper after whoever wins this match. I have a feeling he's going to show up the next Wednesday and be all like, hey, we've got some unfinished business.
There's your person to take the North American title off of Carmelo.
He doesn't. No, Ilya's got to go for the world. What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Why would you step him down? You don't want to give him the old Pete Dunne treatment. I'm not even talking about Butch. I'm talking about Pete Dunne. Remember, he was champion for the longest amount of time in the history of the modern era. He had a 500, 600-day reign. Then he came to NXT, lost 4 matches in a row, then lost more North American title matches, and then just became some dude on the roster who lost all the fucking time. You can't bring someone from the top and throw them all the way down to the bottom.
It's like a refresh for him. You don't have to
refresh to get your ass kicked, dude. I'm gonna refresh you right now.
He's like, I'm gonna demote you.
Yeah.
To yay.
Start him a little lower and then build him back up again. Don't just immediately throw him back in the world title scene. Give him a freaking build him back up again.
You're telling me you don't want to see Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov?
Well, I would love that immediately. I would love that, but again, keep me wanting it for now.
Yeah, but you're also right now kind of predicting the fact that Ilya Dragunov's probably going to be named I don't know, Pete Dragon or some bullshit like that.
No, he's not going to lose his name. He's not going to lose his name. If he's gotten this far without losing it, he ain't losing his name.
Well, hell, that's a Walter.
No, because that was still Vince. Triple H likes crazy names. His name was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He loves crazy names.
Yeah, I know. But even Disney might have sued them anyways. So.
Oh my God.
I'm going to be honest with you, dude. I didn't watch more than a couple seconds of the Briggs, Jensen, Fallon against Pretty Deadly and Lash Legend, but I did listen to commentary while it was happening. And I guess Gallus showed up. It was a big brawl thing. You tell me, man. What anything on that?
There's not really much about it. Like, it was fine for what it was, really. Not much to really go off of it. Like, Briggs and Jensen, like, they're at this point just holding the titles until this unification match now, and that's just really it.
Yeah. Then we get back to the women's side of all of this. Shayna Baszler showed up to talk to Mandy Rose about how important it was going to be for Mandy to hold on to that title and how the difference between them as champions. Mandy even was putting over Shayna's match against Liv, and then Shayna was talking shit on Liv, like she already knows she's lost it. It's not even up to her anymore. The only thing she's going to have a say in is which limb I take, and even that's going to be a small amount, right? Like, for them to be putting over both their matches for the weekend, I thought was so cool to watch, and for them to like just be side by side, you know. Alba Fire talking to Meiko Satomura about it. Miko even saying that she won it from an incredible champion, you know, with the little wink to the thing. Rhea Ripley telling Davenport that she's got to uphold her end, you know what I mean? Like she's got to show she's not in there for no reason. Like, just the amount of main roster on this one was so dope.
All of them. All of those backstage segments and the like pep talks were just all fantastic, honestly.
Got me so hyped for the show coming up. Splinter Fox coming through the chat saying hello. Cheers, Splinter Fox. Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, 100%. The JD McDonough thing was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I did not care for Chase beating Dempsey at all.
Yeah, that was really not that good, honestly.
Now,
and I love Andre Chase. I love Andre Chase, but I don't know. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it undercuts how badass you tried to make Dempsey look last week, and then you go, "Oh no, wait, no, he's a chump." So,
he looked like he reminded me so much of Toothless Tim. So I'm just kind of watching him, and I'm just like, he really does have that Timothy Thatcher like style, and I was like, I feel like I could get into him, but it was just like this wasn't getting it. It wasn't working for me.
Yeah, I wasn't into it. Keep it moving then. Zoe Stark versus Kiana James. Sounds crazy what I'm about to say, but to me the big takeaway here, Stark versus Kiana James, was that Nikita Lyons has an amazing spear and a badass spinning heel kick. Like, she looked great doing those two moves, chasing out. Who was it she was chasing out of the thing? Was it Mandy? Or was it Kiana?
Kiana.
It was Kiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikita has a badass spear, looking better than most men's spears, and her spinning kick, infinitely better than CM Punk's. She didn't break her foot neither.
No, he broke his
so
toe.
Much speed behind it.
He broke his toe. Get it correct.
I don't know. But it wasn't a bad match by any means. But I was really impressed by those two connections. Were like, even with the kick, it reminded me of Cornette on some of his older podcasts would talk about when he swung a racket at Dusty, and he had told, like, the first time he ever met Dusty Rhodes, they were in the ring, and he looks to the ref and he tells him, he's like, tell him he better fucking duck because I'm swinging for his head. So he swung as hard as he could, and so when he finally met him in the back, he goes, oh, so you're the kid who's going to knock out the Dream in the front, like, you know. But he talks, because he was complaining about how people do they punch to miss, like they punch to go over so you can duck easier, and he goes, no, you're supposed to like go for their head and make them duck, right? That's what I felt like with Nikki. Nikita, she was trying to kick her in the head and was like, you better fucking move because I'm fucking coming for you. And it was all timed out great, but looked so good,
so fast. Like, she just whipped her leg around so fast, and I'm like, whoa, that was like, if she was just a second slower, she probably would have got knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it look good in those moments, is you're not like, which, I mean, sometimes when you're like aiming to miss, it just looks like you're doing the warning shot thing, right? But yeah, Nikita going for the head.
But I like Kiana, though. I'm actually liking Kiana James. I don't know what it is about her. She's actually very impressive to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought everyone here was good, for sure. Spinnerfox in the chat says he's been on an excursion. Says the landscape of wrestling has been had a massive change since he's been away. It's a really good point. I'd be really curious to know. Spinnerfox has loved everything AEW's done for a long time, so I'm going to be curious what he starts thinking and stuff as we get into that here in a little bit. And he said he thought he'd be safe from hearing that name here. I do. We'll talk about Cornette old stories. We'll talk about
Yeah, I don't
talk
like
about
that
Meltzer.
name either. I don't like that name either.
Yeah, no one's saying that, like, hey, everyone go listen to him and support him and buy his merch. No one's saying
Hell
that.
no. Hell
But-
no.
But
But
no, he said the P word.
I will say this.
I have no idea who he's talking about.
Rather listen to Cornette any day than Phil.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Phil.
Just
Yep. Let me see. Diamond Mine versus Gallus. Dude, I didn't watch it.
dude.
It was freaking great though.
Was it? Go ahead, talk about it. Tell me how good it was.
It was so good. Like, I'm telling you, I love both of those teams. And again, there was no Roddy at first. Like, and it was just like, and I love Roderick Strong, but I can't stand the whole bitchy, whiny Roddy anymore. It is so bad.
Well,
So bad. But I thought this was great though. It's just like, I cannot wait to see what this fatal 4-way elimination match is going to be like. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome.
but you know Roddy's gonna whine.
Yes.
Oh, well.
You know.
It's a fatal 4-way for the tags, right?
I know, but
Both.
Roddy will still whine. You
Yes,
know.
he will. Yep.
So the unification match.
I don't know.
It's kind of funny too when you think about it, because they put the UK tag titles on a NXT team. So there's two NXT UK tag teams in there holding no gold, and there's two NXT teams in there holding both of the gold.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me feel like the NXT UK team, one of those teams has got to win. I don't feel like you can let Creed Brothers or Jensen and Briggs keep it in that way.
No.
I mean, I feel like you get more. I feel like you get more if you put it on the Creeds.
No,
I think you keep it on the Creeds, honestly, because you get more for that tag team division with them still leading it.
No, they're not leading it first off. I think you put it on Coffee and Wolfgang or Gallus, because I think that at the same time you have to be careful not to have NXT UK get punked out. They can't be going into this Worlds Collide thing and saying, hey, we're unifying all these things, and at the end of the day just punk out all of NXT UK.
I mean, if they put it on Gallus, I'm not against it.
Yeah. Gallus is good. Let me see. Oh, Nathan Frazier and Axiom. What'd you think of that? It was funny. I thought Amanda might have got a kick out of that one. I don't know if you got to see it, but Nathan Frazier was telling Axiom, the former A kid, oh, if only you had been in NXT UK, we did a type of match there that was like rounds based. He goes, I know that you're not from there, so it'd be probably hard for you to understand the rules. And he goes, but then again, you're good with numbers, so maybe you would get it. So they're basically going to do a Heritage Cup type match at Worlds Collide.
It was so good.
It was really tongue-in-cheek and funny. I didn't hate it. But I was also kind of like, all right.
Supposedly it's going to be a best of 3 between the two of them, so
Best of 3, yeah.
But
count me in on that.
also, you're making fun of the Orlando people if they really don't know.
That's
Yeah.
true, and that's good. I like making fun of that crowd.
That's what I was getting at when you were saying this. I was like, because the Orlando people are really kind of dumb.
Mhm.
Yeah, yep.
I mean,
Fox does say, I have to say Riddle and Seth has been a great storyline that is on major TV. Seth brings out the good out of anybody he faces in the ring. Yeah, they've been doing really compelling stuff. We talked about it yesterday with Kevlar, those segments. I'd be curious to know more about what Splinter Fox thinks of the main roster stuff, just because it's so different now. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but it's very different in the feeling of it. And he goes, wait, so NXT UK is done now? That is correct. It is done. There is no more NXT UK. They're unifying all the titles, and they're folding it because they're going to, in about a year, come out with NXT Europe, which is going to be more than the United Kingdom. It's going to be all of Europe. So I don't know how many more countries that involves in because I'm not good at geography. So how about that?
A lot.
A lot more?
A lot.
Good. I hope they take over all of Russia.
I don't even know if they're invited. But anyways.
I don't know where Europe is. But I know that all Atlantic means Japan. So probably Japan too will be in Europe. That's what I've learned from wrestling.
I think they probably mean anything that's connected to that big old landmass over there. So that would also be Asia.
Could be.
Countries in Asia.
That wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me.
I wouldn't shock either.
What I've learned about the All Atlantic title makes me think that all of geography is pretty much whatever you can fit on the title. So whatever emblems and flags can fit on the title, that'll be.
But I want some cool flags up on these titles. You know, like give me the flag of I don't know Zimbabwe.
That'd be a good one. That's Europe.
No,
as long as the flag fits, it's Europe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, Splinter Fox I don't think has been around since I had my fart gun. So.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Remember Triple H wanted to Japan, NXT, Africa,
Fox.
India. Nothing's up now. Yeah. Splinter Fox, you're dead on. The Triple H NXT takeover is real now. It is a world takeover now. So, let's wrap up NXT with how it ended. Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams in the ring, talking their shit like they do. And I guess the crowd started chanting Johnny Wrestling when he was saying, like, nobody is on my level. No one even beneath my level deserves a shot. And they all were going, Johnny Wrestling. And I was all like, boo.
And of course,
boo.
Come on. Really?
I have a group chat I'm in where they were watching it live when I wasn't. And someone's all like, oh, shit. Carmelo Hayes is getting, this is going to be a great Carmelo match. And I was like, I haven't seen who it is yet, but my guess has been Ricochet all day. Am I close? And no one responded. And then I looked at the thing, and it was Ricochet, and everyone is a dick. But the idea that we're going to get, in one weekend, Justin, we're getting Gunther and Sheamus, and Ricochet and Carmelo in one weekend.
There's so many matches for this weekend that are going to be the match of the weekend. It's absolutely going to be nuts.
It's going to be insane. You know who's not having match of the weekend? Punk.
Absolutely not.
But I want to know, Amanda, did you see the end of this? Did you watch the end
I
of
thought,
NXT?
yes, I did see part of the promo, and I was like, first of all, Ricochet. Holy shit. I didn't cringe when he was on the mic, first of all.
I told you he's been getting better. And when I saw this and every little bit, I was like, she has to see this. She has to see how far he's come.
I did. And I was like blown away. Especially because this is a week where we got Ocean Spray again on fucking national TV. Talks like with a bunch of fucking marbles in his mouth. Mm-hmm. And then you have the better version of him, which a lot of people were trying to post all these photos, these gifs and stuff, or little clips of 2016 Bola when it was the Elite versus Ricochet, Seidel, and Ocean Spray. Sorry, I almost said Osprey, but I mean, was it great? Pretty good match, not gonna lie. But when you see matches like that, you obviously can tell who's the superior one of the king of the flippy style. And it certainly was not Ocean Spray. And I'm not saying that because I don't like him. No. It was very, it wasn't fluid. It's very clunky. But we'll talk about him clunky later. But no, I was just like, holy fuck, this is going to be fucking amazing. So.
Ricochet and Carmelo is going to be so badass.
Yeah.
Ricochet's gotten so good on the mic. The only thing that's missing with him is connecting through the screen, right? Because when you see him live,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him live a few times, and every time the entire crowd there is in absolute awe. And when people watch him on TV, they're impressed. But they don't seem to connect the same way. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't translate outside of the TV in a way that you wished it did. Because, like, he is built so perfectly for live action. Like,
yeah. But you see, he never had that before. So that's why I was so mad when they called him up so quickly. I'm like, he's never had, or he's been on TV like this at all. You know, he wasn't really in Ring of Honor. Yeah, he went to New Japan, but that's totally different, you know?
Yeah.
Japanese audiences, you know, are, you know, bizarre. Let's just say it that way. They're bizarre, you know, versus the US audience. So, you know, that's kind of a weird one. But that is something definitely, I mean, that's going to take a very long time for him to be able to do that. But I think, like, for me personally, I would much rather watch him live than, you know, actually that particular style. I'd rather watch live. There's very few people that can make it, you know, look and get the audience into it on the TV perspective. Obviously, Seidel was still really, really great at that. I think Kushida is another one, really great at that.
Oh yeah.
And the Lucha Brothers, I think too. I mean, I think that those four are really, really, they're good with that, and it transfers really well. Other people, they have to really work on it, or it just looks messy. Yeah.
I don't think Ricochet looks messy, but I do think there's some sort of factor that's just not there, and I hate it because I think he's just so good.
I think it's because he's so good, and it's like, this isn't real. Like, because you know how you're always, it's like choreographed wrestling, but the way he does it, it doesn't feel as choreographed.
We've talked about it before. He's got the most natural way of moving his body into places where he has to be without looking like he's trying to get there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that with him, it's one of those things where it makes it look like, when you see that, like, damn, I want to do that, but no, that's not humanly possible to do.
Yes.
And it's not in like the spot monkey type of variety that most people, you know, are pigeonholed into. And like a lot of the things he do, it's like, Jesus, it's like the he's not real. It's CGI. Someone actually, I'd read that one at one time, had said that dude, that was like CGI. There's no way. And I'm like, no.
There's been times I've seen him do like that 720 splash where he's spinning, and I feel like he got caught in the air, like he's stuck.
Yeah.
Like he's in the air flipping, and you're like, oh shit, he's stuck. Gravity's stopped working in that area.
Or like, wait, the TV froze. The internet's down. The stream.
I know that they used to call Neville the man that gravity forgot, but I feel like that's way more appropriate for Ricochet.
They both are kind of on that level. Why did I forget about Pac? But no, they both are kind of on that level. The only with Pac, it's kind of fun. It more like, okay, and no offense, and this could sound really fucked up of me saying this, but you know, his little pointy ears, you know, he already
he's a goblin man.
Not a real person, you know, a little elf, magical. So it kind of is like, yeah, that's a magical man, you know. So makes sense. Ricochet's a dude, you know.
Yeah.
It's So, no, but Neville too. I mean, he's Pac, Neville, whatever you want to fucking call him. Yeah, he's another one of those ones. It's very effortless. Like, you know, it's not, okay, let me do it. And then it looks like kind of like, well, what the fuck is that? You know?
Yeah, I know that one of the things.
Definition of a video game come to life. Literally.
Yeah.
He just has so much control over it, and it's amazing.
I feel like video games are more choppy.
But but you know what's funny is neither one of those two never did mocap, from what I know. And some of the people who did mocap for those types of moves, you'd be able, no, why didn't they get someone who really knows how to do those moves?
And the way Ricochet sells is incredible. Justin, remember that Intercontinental Champion #1 contender 6-man match?
So good. My
Did you
God.
notice when Baron Corbin punched Ricochet in the face the one time? Ricochet just folded over and crumbled.
Yep.
Like, it was amazing. And it was awesome, too, because even when we're watching it, he falls over, producer lady laughs and goes, okay, he might be overdoing it. And I was like, I don't know. Baron Corbin's a fucking Golden Gloves champ. He should have a punch that crumbles somebody, you know? And then the commentary immediately afterwards says, don't forget, he's a Golden Gloves champion. And I was like, see?
Like, made Corbin's punches believable. Like,
yeah.
He
which
made
is supposed to be how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, he's made Chuck Taylor punches look very believable.
That's insane.
That's saying something. And I've seen it live. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm
three
still
times.
with Chuck Taylor grenade. I want a grenade, damn it.
Splinter Fox does say he's heard my fart, so it's normal to him to hear my fart gun. He goes, oh man, I bet Marsh is gonna love Johnny wrestling back on WWE again. And he goes, yeah, there's the fucking name. He says he's been fighting Punk fans since the return, which is funny. But he does say that Bayley and Omega is back and he's happy again, dude. And also Bayley's not just back, but she brought Dakota and Io with her. That's sick.
That's badass.
Yeah. Jeremy in time says, cheers, friends, in the dive bar. Probably could have just screamed it from across the hall there and we would have heard it.
Yeah. Lazy.
Yeah, it's just laziness, just typing it out. Sprinter Fox does say that Japan fans are respectful, relaxed. That's funny because you said they're weird. He does say that Ricochet needs to program with Seth, Dolph, and Randy. They could teach him more or less how to get and help him get to understand how to control the fans without the flips.
Yeah.
I do think there's something there that's not quite there because he's gotten so good on the mic and he's gotten natural and comfortable. He's so good and natural in the ring. He sells like $1 million, but there is something that's missing in the way he's connecting, and I don't know if it's strictly without the flips or between the flips. I feel like that there's just something, and I don't know what it is. And I guess he doesn't either, or he would do it. But working with guys like Seth, Dolph, and Randy might help him find it for sure. My
guess is it's still the promo work. Because, like, yeah, it's not as bad as it's not like it's gotten better, but it's still not like it doesn't always, all his promos still don't hit all the time. So
yeah,
but
I hear you.
I tell you, it's like night and day now. Like, yeah, because I don't sit there and like, oh god, yeah.
You guys want to talk anything else on Carmelo versus Ricochet other than we're getting a dream match on paper and that's how it's done?
You know, I'm gonna make this comment.
Make
this comment. I don't think Tony Khan understands what is happening before his show. He doesn't.
Are you talking about NXT?
Yeah, that card.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. So let's talk AEW, and as we get into it, I think that I'm here for the pettiness, and I don't think it is what it is. But I also wouldn't be shocked if someone were to say that wasn't on their mind, right? That the idea that we're going to get Clash of the Castle, which they're basically building up to be a European WrestleMania, with a lot of the biggest matches they can possibly put on. They're going to follow it up. And that's the other thing. They have not been exhausting the crowd. They're not doing 6, 7, 8 hour pay-per-views anymore. They're 3 to 4 tops. They're going to put on another 3 with NXT, with dream matches and unifications of NXT UK and NXT. You're going to see what we've been saying people should have been seeing all along. NXT UK style matches. Bate and Braun? You kidding? All right before AEW. And I was like, I don't know that WWE isn't trying to exhaust the fans before AEW even kicks off. And by the time the NXT or the AEW ends, because they've been putting on marathon pay-per-views 5, 6, 7 hours. By the time they get to the main event, a lot of these wrestling fans will have already been fucking 15 hours into wrestling. If they get 3 and 3, if they get 4 and 4, they're 8 hours before it starts. And you want to give them another 8? You want to give them 15 hours before they get to the main event, which is a rematch of Punk and Mox? I think I've been saying it for a while too, since at least episode 1. Tony was never trying to be the alternative you could watch while watching wrestling. Or watching WWE, I should say. He's always tried to create his own universe where you have to choose one or the other. And I think this weekend really solidifies that. I think guys like Justin are insane, and they're going to watch all of it.
Damn right I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it all. Yeah.
I know that I'm not watching all of AEW. I'm watching one match on All Out. And I'm going to watch Instagram for the results for the rest of it. There's only one match I'm watching in its entirety from All Out.
Yep. Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's probably Starks and Hobbs.
Yeah, that's the only one I need to see.
That's the only one.
Match, I just want to know the results.
Yeah, that's the only one on the card right now that is guaranteed. It's not some stupid bullshit that you think everyone thinks we're stupid. However, I do think, we'll get to it later, but I do think that the trios thing is going to be interesting. I'll leave it at that until we get to that.
Yeah. All right. We'll get to there. Splinter Fox does say, as we keep going, though, he says, Razor would have been a great mentor for Ricochet, RP, bad guy. Yes. Scott Hall had said a number of times, though, that he really liked working with the big guys because he felt like that big guys didn't have enough mentors. There was a lot of smaller guy mentors out there, and the big guys never knew how to work big. So I agree that I think that his endless knowledge applied to everyone he's ever worked with, and he could have taught everybody so much. I wonder if, though, he wouldn't have been more inclined to work with, like, the Damian priests and stuff, which I believe he did. So, but 100%.
Damian needs a lot of help.
Yeah. Spinner Fox does say, I'm getting WCW Thunder vibes from AEW at the moment, which means the end is probably near. He goes, I would love 15 hours. Well, 14 and a half. Fuck the AEW main event. Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be a Splinter Fox weekend for sure. Cause there's not going to be stories in between this. It's just going to be match for 15 hours. Like, that's going to be some stuff. And Splinter Fox says, I'm pissed that Pac and Kip are on the kickoff. It's a great place for it. And we'll go into why in a minute.
Yeah.
And then Bishop's in the chat says, damn, too bad I didn't watch this week. All the Splinter Fox in the chat. That's a good point. Bishop's coming around again. And then Splinter Fox says, say GCW starts tomorrow. That's a good point. GCW's going to kick off the weekend, too. So.
I want to see the return of Nick fucking Gage.
Is that going to be against Mox?
Maybe.
Is that not the Mox match?
I don't know. But I know he's returning. Because Janela was been hyping that up.
Shouts to the Effie and Session Moth match that was made today for GCW.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Love it.
Spinner Fox says the Mox match is in October. I was like, okay, good.
Oh, that's right.
If you would try and put him engaged in a match like 2 days before, that'd be a lot.
I can see it, Nicky. You need help with that motherfucker? I'll fucking kill that motherfucker.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk AEW. It opened up with undisputed AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. He came out. He talked his shit. The crowd was really split. I actually kind of liked the crowd in this segment specifically because there was a lot of them kind of booing him. A lot were cheering him. It was kind of a conflicted crowd where they're like, we love Moxley, but CM Punk's our guy because they were in Chicago, you know?
Well, I'm going to negate that a little here.
The crowd was not responding a certain way?
Well, remember, the front row hard cam is Pro Wrestling Tees again.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to, because both of them are cash cow for these guys, kind of have to, you have to play the fence.
Yeah, but it was a lot of the crowd was on the fence.
Yeah.
And that was neat. They even were doing crowd shots where you could see this row saying Punk and the row behind saying Moxley. Like, you could see it broken up. And I thought that was pretty neat because most of the time the crowds are just cheering everybody every time. They're almost always doing exactly what they're meant to do. And I felt like this was one of the first times you really saw the crowd go, I don't know what I'm supposed to say right now.
And you know what? Been there, done that. Mm-hmm.
What? Been conflicted?
No, me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
It
say,
was neat.
yeah, yeah, it's weird, but I think a lot of it's political too. But that's
Oh,
just my
yeah. I agree. And then ultimately, it boils down to Moxley saying that he'll take on anyone at any time. He signs an open challenge contract and throws it on the ground because rankings be damned. We don't need a number one contender ever. And I believe this is the first time, maybe second, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, that someone lost the title and then got their rematch. I believe every person who lost the title did not get a rematch.
Yeah.
Why do I feel Jericho might have?
No, because Jericho's rematch for the title was 2 weeks ago against Moxley.
Yeah, nobody that's
He even
ever
made
lost
mention of that.
immediately.
Hangman never got one?
Nope.
No.
Every single champion who's lost the title has been told to get back of the line, and they've been told they're not number one contender. There's no automatic rematches, that they don't get a shot right away. So this was their way of circumventing the rules that they've already established. This was their way of circumventing the ranking system. This was their way of getting away from doing a messy battle royal, which always sucks. And it just created another messy situation of them getting the match they want to have and not the match that they've constructed us to believe and condition us to believe in as their system. That's my only complaint about it is
a $7 million man. It's the $7 million man. It's his home. You know, come on, hello. Were you born yesterday? Are we eating brain tumors? Come on now. Now, there was a part of me in my heart of hearts that thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if like Cole Cabana ran out there and took that and see ya?
Yeah.
Get another
the
Chicago.
fact that no one came out. Like Ace came out, right? But after a few minutes, the fact that the world champion has thrown down an open contract and in kayfabe, not a single person in the entire locker room wants a chance at the title. They all said, fuck it. When you have a ranking system where you have somebody who's not in the top 10 sitting in the back,
Kip could have ran that
time. Kip's front row.
Yeah.
Kip's front row with a box on his head saying that I'm underrated and undervalued. You're going to tell me that you don't think that you should just grab it? You know what I mean? Like, it undermined so much, I felt like. As soon as he dropped it, I was all like, where the fuck is it? This should look like the 24/7 title right now. There should be 30 guys running out there trying to get into the middle of that ring. But no one wanted it.
They know better. Tony will blackball you. Come on now.
That's true, too.
You'll have the fate of Sonny Kiss or Joey Janela.
Or Bobby Fish.
Or Bobby Fish. Let's go there. Why am I not surprised about the news with Bobby Fish? Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure Kyle's going to be pretty much following too, because the only person that he really truly wanted was fucking Britt's old fucking man.
Yep.
Didn't I say that on episode 1? I think I did.
Yep.
Might have said that.
Yep.
But it's okay. And everyone's like, oh, well, Bobby Fish is injured. No, Bobby Fish is wrestling other places, high to five.
Yeah,
I think
he's been
he
wrestling.
went there the last one.
And on Bobby Fish's own podcast, he was complaining about not getting very many matches. The other thing to further your point is that O'Reilly and Fish did not get very long contracts, but Cole had to sign like a fucking 6 or 7 year contract.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, I want you down for the decade, which, by the way, from what I've heard from other legend wrestlers and such, you don't want long contracts. Long contracts are bad for you, especially if you are a high tier talent. That you need shorter contracts because you get more leverage as a talent to get more money in the following years. The reason that Brett signed the 10-year or 15-year with WWE when he did was not because he thought it was best for him business-wise necessarily, but it was a sign of loyalty to Vince saying, I'm not going anywhere and I trust that you'll take care of me and I'll take care of you back. That there was like a belief there, right? That although I'm signing this crazy contract for this crazy long period of time, we're in this for the long haul, right? Making people sign such a young company, such long contracts, prevents them from being able to renegotiate their values, which is exactly why MJF's not on TV anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Should we go there? Yeah. And also, too, you know, his old lady probably was
Yes.
Tony, but allegedly, I don't know.
Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Splinter Fox does think that Mox could still kill bitch Punk after he faced Nick. He says Splinter Fox says he fucking hates Chicago so much now. I can only hope that Colt figure releases before AEW is dead. Yeah, they haven't even started a mold for Colt.
No, I don't understand the Jazzwares dude. I'm like, who's fucking telling you? Okay. Oh, I don't know if any of y'all saw this week, but Marsh had sent me a Joey Janela tweet that was hilarious because it was a Jungle Boy figure, and it was on clearance at Walmart, and it said AEW Joey Janela on the price tag.
Yep.
But what's also funny, because then I remembered this, and I actually only remembered this yesterday, so I was saving it for today, was Joey actually was on the list to be, I think it was in Unrivaled 3 or 4. He was supposed to have a figure, but magically didn't happen because it was on all the order lists for retail. And funny because obviously there's some blackballing, and then I had posted something, and immediately Janela posted a gift to me because I had said something about Cabana, and then I don't think I DM'd and said, "But you knew that now." I'm like, "Oh shit, I knew that." Yeah, but it was very interesting because I think if there is an NVA, it's slowly expiring. And I want to get some answers, and I think I might, which is exciting. Yeah. But when I saw that, and I'm like, damn, people are politicking to get a figure or have people not have a figure. It's a fucking action figure.
Well, and everyone thinks they deserve one before the next guy, right? As opposed to politicking Cody out of his 15th figure, you try to politic somebody else out of their first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing to say, hey, can we do the 5th or 6th Cody, the next one, and just squeeze in this guy on this one?
Can we cool it with the Young Bucks and maybe do, I don't know, the Acclaimed, and I swear when they finally get a figure, if they don't have a scissor hand on each one, then I don't want it.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I want to pose them doing it, the beatbox.
Yeah, you want to pose them scissoring. I get it.
I want to pose them scissoring, with the beatbox and everything. But yeah, that's kind of sad. That's really kind of sad.
Yeah,
Janela, and you know what?
He got politicked out of it.
Yeah, and but if you really want a Colt Cabana figure, there's a really horrible one that really doesn't look like him.
The Ring of Honor one.
The Action Superstars one.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Or you can get one of the microballers. This is the old school one on my desk. Or actually, I don't know where I put him. I have 2 of them, but also in a pro wrestling crate, they made a really cool little Colt Cabana doll.
Little stuffed plush.
Little plushie.
Let's see. Spinnerbox does say MJF should have ran out there and signed the damn contract. Dude, anyone should have. Anyone should have.
I was waiting for that too.
Yeah,
I was, honestly. Cabana, MJF. I was waiting for those.
I think that as much as everyone wants to say that the MJF thing is all quote a work, I think there's a lot of reality there that people are not willing to accept because it's wrestling and they want to believe that Tony Khan is smarter than the average Mark. I don't think he is.
Nope.
I think that there's a lot of reality there that he was unable to control. And I think that's why there's a whole lot of people going like, oh, that's crazy. That would have been such a good spot for MJF. It would have. But I don't think he's actually available. I think there's actually things that are issues there. Which is also why everyone's saying like, oh, well, I've said it. I've seen it so many weeks. This is obviously where MJF comes back. Oh, this is where MJF's going to come back. Oh, this is the perfect spot for MJF. I don't think it's going to be when you think it's going to be, is what I'll say.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox does say Thunder Rosa got another title shot after she lost the first time. You know better than anybody, different. Splinter Fox, that the women division does not matter the same way, and they do not pay attention to it. There's a good chance Tony Khan didn't even realize she had a title shot before that one, even if it was a week before. Splinter Fox does say Kip's not in the front row anymore. Might as well. I don't know. I don't care when he is.
Do what? The front row?
Kip. He thinks Kip's not in the front row anymore because I said he was in the front row. I mean, he might not have been. I don't know. I don't fucking care.
But when
Fox
did
does say what's going on with Bobby. His contract is done. He's not re-signing. He wasn't offered to re-sign. He just got ghosted. Bishop's in the chat says, remember on episode 1 when I said AEW was trash? I do remember that on episode 1.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox says, Black and Cole are screwed if they do stay afloat for 6 years. And he goes, well, Black is one more injury away to hang up. It's possible, too. And then there's the rumor right now that he's asked for his release and was not granted one. There's also a rumor that, like, up to 5 or 6 AEW people have asked for their release and not given them.
Yep.
Figure would be selling like hotcakes.
Yep.
Yeah. FDR not being in the video game. Yeah, the FDR not being in the video game thing, I think, is them being moved to downloadable content and just not being default. And I think the idea is that they know they're popular and people will pay to
get a lot of
play
money for
them.
that.
Yes, where I think the Young Bucks have to be in the game because it's almost like, how are you going to make the first ever AEW game without the Elite? Where FTR is the most popular tag team they have, they think they can probably get more money out of you. So I don't think it's that they're out of the game. They're just not defaulted into the game, I think is what it's going to turn out to be. Then Spinner Fox says, no, what you do is you get the really bad Colt figure and get an AEW figure, remove the head and place the Colt head on that figure and put as a tire.
Okay.
What's up?
The Colt head does not look like Colt. That's the thing.
No, but if you pop the Colt head on like a Powerhouse Hobbs body, you probably get away with it.
Put the Colt head on?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
That you realize that Powerhouse Ricky maybe. Okay.
Ricky maybe.
Ricky maybe. See, look, maybe.
Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
You can do it on the Kingston.
Eddie Kingston. There you go. There you go. Also,
equally bad head.
You know, let me tell you, Eddie Kingston, if you look at Ringside Collectibles, because, you know, I'm trying to get the damn Darby one, you know. So all of them have gone down in price. Mm-hmm. You can get Christian and you can get Powerhouse Hobbs for $17.99. You can get Thunder Rosa is $19.99. Mm-hmm. So is Ricky. But Eddie Kingston is still holding at $22.99. You go, Eddie.
Oh, Spinner Fox says, take the vest off of Evil Uno. That's funny.
You know, that would work. No, it's one piece, but you could take the head off of Evil Uno and it's fine. Yeah. I just feel bad because
I'm waiting to find Thunder Rosa in the wild. I want to get it from the store. I want to do that.
Hey, I found it. Hell, I found that whole I want Darby. Okay, I really want Darby.
Spinner Fox does say that he hasn't seen the Young Bucks render for the video game, which is true. But you know what we did see is we saw the gameplay of Adam Cole doing his finish. Here was the most remarkable thing to me. If you go back and watch that clip, I'm not making it up. Go back and find it. Adam Cole on his finish in the video game slaps his leg and misses Kenny. And I'm all like, wow, they made it so real. Like, I replayed it frame by frame over and over again, where I was like, wow, they really went out of their way to make sure to be like, well, this is how it is. They don't actually touch. I'm like, it's a video game. You can make them touch. Like, it's fine here.
Well, question, was Aubrey the ref? So you saw Aubrey the ref in the video game?
Well, they messed up the Aubrey stuff because she's, like, kind of a normal ref in the back. She should be, if the Aubrey ref render was correct, she would be in every shot, like, between the camera and the talent. So, like, she would just be in the way of all the replays.
Got it. I love hearing producer lady cackle in the background.
I never know if you can pick it up or not. But yeah,
best audio ever.
Yeah. I got in trouble for that once on a different Zoom, where someone's like, said they were going to charge me extra for producer lady being in the back laughing like.
But it's petty. I love it. It's so very good. Petty. This is the petty part of this episode.
We're here for the pettiness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Spinner Fox is asking who is Darby. I'll answer that because otherwise Amanda will take 15 minutes to talk about how amazing it is. The Chase variant of the Ricky Starks figure is the Darby version where he dressed up as Darby Allin and the emo thing, and he's got the face paint, and he comes with I believe even a skateboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really cool variation they've made. And matter of fact, of all of the Chase toys they've made in every series, I think that's the best one because it's the only one that's more than just a repaint. almost every other Chase variant is the same exact mold in every way, but like a different coloration. You know? Like, I want to say they did a Taz Chase variant where he's got a slightly different pair of pants and comes with a hat. And you're like, great. Like, and then he says, I'm going to get the game and get Sheeta to whoop all those asses.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it going. I did like the Mox promo, but I thought that everything after he dropped the contract was kayfabe dumb.
Okay.
Justin, I don't think we've heard it from you in a minute. Was there anything you want to weigh in on any of this?
No, you literally just said what I was just about to say. I love the Mox promo. I hated how stupid it was when he drops the contract, and I'm just expecting somebody to come out, and then fucking Ace Steel came out, and I went, nope, I'm out. Forget it.
Okay.
Here's the deal with Ace Steel.
Okay. First of all, question.
Yeah.
When did Ace Steel start working for AEW?
Yeah, that's my point, is that he's only showed up the last 2 weeks. He's all of a sudden there. All they've said on commentary is that they're friends, that they go way back. In the promo we get later, he says that I trained you. But we've also heard from... I haven't watched every Punk interview, but I've watched a few. I don't remember his name ever coming up. I don't. I'm sure it has somewhere.
What,
I'm sure
in AEW land?
In WWE documentaries where he talks about his career path and everything and how he got to where he was, and he was talking about the indies. He even talked about facing Chris Hero. I don't remember the name Ace Steel. Maybe.
I believe so. Yes.
But it would have been in passing. It would have been a lesser than comment.
No. I actually watched that. Beth, I'm admitting this, but this is actually when I didn't mind him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I watched I was watching it for Colt Cabana. Let's go there if you really want to go there. But Ace was one of the people that was interviewed in that thing, and obviously Cabana, because Ace Steel was the one who, him and Danny Dominion. It was the whatever they call. I can't remember the name of it. The Steel Dominion. It could have been the Steel Dominion. I don't know. But anyways, that's where Punk and Cabana met and became BFFLs. Because who would have thought? You had this like nerdy freaking Jew and this very mean, punk rock kid. Who would have thought, right? But it never has been brought up in AEW. Most people, notably, if you know anything, if you go back and watch Cena and Punk, the Money in the Bank, the infamous one, yeah, the two that are in the front row, Banna and Ace Steel. They made Colt wear dress shirt.
That's funny.
I had no idea. I had no idea who the hell he was.
Yeah,
until I seen AEW tweet. I had no idea who he was until freaking AEW tweeted it out, and they were like, "Ace Steel, longtime friend of CM Punk," and I'm like, "Wow, how fucking convenient."
Well,
exactly. That's my problem. Is they made it a convenient story instead of actually building the story. Like, you guys want to talk about long-term storytelling and how clever they are about stuff. You can't just one day say long-term friend, therefore this is important. Like, you need to build that in and refer back to them, and they could have brought it up a number of times, but at this point I feel like there's so much more to the story than we know. There's so much more to the story than I know that I feel like I just don't get it, but there's something there. I don't think they would do it. I don't think Punk would do it. I don't think Ace would do it if it wasn't really important, if they didn't believe it meant something. So it feels like it's an inside joke I'm watching on TV, or
it is an inside joke we're watching on TV. A lot of people are getting money for this. The only thing I could think of when they were like, "Oh yeah, he works with talent." When they said that, I was like, "Whoa! How long has this been? And two, is that you're just right now?" I don't know who said it was, if it was Excalibur or Shivani, but right now, you just said to me, as a Colt Cabana fan, this guy's working in the back. You really solidified that he got blacklisted, and you were going to get rid of him. So that angered me. I'm still angry about that because I'm like, really? Okay now. So you can have insignificant people in your life come in for the right money this is why they're gonna collapse, because there's going to be one day someone is going to get tired of all this bullshit back there.
Is Commando mostly being paid to just stay home and shut the fuck up? Like, he's there getting contracts to just get money and be, like, abide by the NDA, right? Like, that's what his contract's for. It's definitely not for talent. They're not using him. Cool.
Oh, no, remember, he signed to Ring of Honor. He's a talent of Ring of Honor.
Oh, a promotion that doesn't exist. That's convenient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So...
I thought he was signed for AEW.
Yeah.
Originally. But when all of a sudden he disappeared and he was about to be released and everybody under the sun came to bat for him, and a lot of you people would not even believe that kind of Colt's back went to bat for him. Tony kind of had to give him something.
Is Colt wrestling indie shows at all?
Yes. He also was doing over in Europe, AEW Games had some like kind of little roadshow recently.
Yeah, the game
code. So he was in Germany, but he's been in Scotland because he was doing the Fringe again. He didn't do the whole month. He only did a couple of weeks. No.
Oh,
he's in Chicago. No, he's back in Chicago. Yeah.
It so sucks for him, you know. I mean, they all went to bat for him, right? But they go to bat for him for
all
what?
Went to bat for him, but you know what? It's not
for what. You know what I
for
mean?
What?
That's what I mean. For what? Like they do it, and I get why. But I'm saying, like, to what end? Now he's ended up getting that new contract that just solidifies he just has to stay at home, and
he doesn't mind. He can work indies, but the thing is, though, is not a lot of people know that, which is one. Two, I went on a tirade yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? If I ever want to see him wrestle again, I got to travel, and I don't find out until it's way expensive to fly, you know, and then I'm not going to not sit in the front row. Okay. Not gonna lie. I'm not going to pay like a $500 airfare to, you know, be all, oh, hi, you're my favorite. And I'm way the fuck back here. No, but no one around me on the West Coast, no one's bringing him in. And I'm at the point where I've said this, that do I need to sponsor him? Should I just give money that I was going to travel somewhere to see him? Should I just give it to you guys so you can bring him in just for me? Or do I have to make my own promotion now? But I would have the worst promotion in the world because no one would ever want to come to it because of the people I would hire.
Yeah, it'd be great.
So, but
yeah,
you know, it's really shitty. And that's why I was hoping that he would have gotten the contract. Now, the only thing right now that I think that would definitely save face, and I said it on episode 1, and everyone says that I'm on crack and whatever, is if Tony Khan really wants to throw everyone a monkey wrench, we all know Punk's going to win. He's not going to lose in Chicago. When has he lost a big thing in Chicago? Never that I know of.
Yeah. Let's get to that just a second. Because we'll keep it moving on, because that's going to be an ongoing theme, obviously, here. It's a 3-part thing they did here. But right after that stuff was Bryan Danielson versus Jake Hager with Jericho on commentary. Needless to say, I paid zero attention to it, but I hear that Danielson won. Justin, what do you think of this segment?
It was what it was. I wasn't really feeling... I just don't really like Jake Hager. Just having him in there, like... Love Bryan Danielson, but I just can't get into Jake Hager at all.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's why I was kind of like out of it. It was also because what they've been doing with Danielson lately has been like, feels like he's having fun, but it doesn't feel like what he's doing matters, which is, I mean, it's a coin cost, right? Like, if he's having fun, that's good, but you also want to care, and they're just keeping him away from stuff I care about.
I still like the Garcia stuff, though. I still like that, but it's like...
Did you? Talk about that a little bit.
Like, the fact that he came out and, you know, prevented Chris Jericho from jumping Danielson, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, it's still, like, again, it's getting me to like Daniel Garcia, but it's like, I just don't want to see anything that has to do with Chris Jericho anymore. I'm just over Jericho.
Yeah. I heard it described that Daniel Garcia is being pulled between his favorite wrestler, his inspiration, and his mentor. And I wish that they did a better job of really making that verbiage known, because they really have been playing up the childish aspect of, do I want to be called a sports entertainer or do I want to be called a wrestler? It's like such a childish, weird little, oh no. Where if he was if they did a better job of telling the story that he's torn between his idol and his mentor, that is so much more compelling to me than someone who's torn between being a sports entertainer or a wrestler. I'm like, that's internet wrestling bullshit. That's branding malarkey. That doesn't mean anything. It's childish tweeting. It's you not knowing what words mean.
Who's the head of creative?
Yeah. The head of creative is the problem. But I wish that guys like JR know. He knows. He's been doing this long enough. He can say whatever the fuck he wants, and he does. And that's why I like him. But if he did a better job of verbalizing, Daniel Garcia is torn between his mentor and his idol. Can you imagine seeing your idol and your mentor at odds and being stuck in between, where they both want you on their side? How do you pick between someone who's brought you to this level and the person who's at the level you want to be at? Then I'd be like, God, that's compelling. Holy shit. So I totally get why a guy like Justin sees that already, because he's smarter than me, and goes, oh, this is a good story being told in a weird way. Where guys like me go, I don't get it.
And then you'll squeeze the fart gun because you don't get it.
I go, what?
Go, what? But
hold on, what? Oh! Yeah, that's me watching wrestling.
And then you get me, who I'm beyond smart of it, like, okay, do you know what the fuck you're doing?
Yes.
John Con, this is stupid. Quit trying to be WWE 2.0, okay? Be your own thing. Because that's what we were sold on when this was going to happen. And that certainly is not what we're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also can't get
over...
over...
me to change my opinion, put me on your payroll.
I can't get over how funny it is to me that Jericho's really hung his hat on this thing so heavily that he doesn't realize he's the only one in the business right now still calling himself a sports entertainer. WWE took a pivot when Triple H took over. They're calling themselves wrestlers again. They did a tweet today that said wrestling.
Yep.
I don't know why. Yep. But they did it. Drew McIntyre cut that promo. We're wrestlers in a wrestling ring. Let's have a wrestling match. I don't care if you call yourself a sports entertainer, a prize fighter, or a wrestler. I want you.
What's a sports entertainment ring?
Sports entertainment ring? It has LEDs on the side.
Okay. Is it like the old Impact one that was like an octagonal kind of shape?
No, that's a Southern ring.
Okay.
Sports entertainment ring has LEDs on it, and they do special effects. Like fire comes out of the posts.
Oh, and like exploding barbed wire is actually like sprinklers.
No, that's pro wrestling. Pro wrestling isn't sports entertainment, so they can't have good effects.
Oh,
that's why they have sparklers.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, I still say they're the same fucking thing.
They are the same thing.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is it sounds like people who don't understand words and are literally undermining the intelligence of their audience, who says the reason they watch is because it doesn't insult their intelligence, and they go, they're actively doing it now. And it's crazy.
I think I lose brain cells sometimes.
Yeah. Spin Fox in the chat says, I just hope Garcia don't do a double turn and stay with Jericho at the pay-per-view. Yeah, I'm all for people getting away from Jericho.
But he's going to. Come on.
Yeah, maybe.
You have to attach yourself to somebody in order to keep yourself on TV.
That's true. AEW is like WCW. All the big boys are getting paid and don't give a fuck. Yeah, I can see that. And it says Tony has too many projects. Football, NFL, AEW. There was something else he just started doing too. Well, for one, Ring of Honor, but for two...
He's also doing, remember, you forgot his footy team.
No, that's what he said, football and NFL.
Sorry.
Yeah, European kickball. There was one other thing. I forget what it was, but there's one thing. He says it's the toy ring that has springs on it and breaks in half. dude, Splinter Fox, I got that new gen ring, the Mattel Creations backing one. It's fucking huge, dude. You build the ring with little pallets of wood, and it's got all little posts on the bottom. You'd love it, Splinter Fox. Came with Diesel and Doink. Fuck yeah. If you want to see a great unboxing, go to Not Sam Wrestling on YouTube. He did a great unboxing of it. He says I should sell it. I kind of want to sell the Diesel and Doink, but I'm not sure. But yeah. So that happened. Hager and Danielson, and like we said,
It reminds me of how much I hate Jericho on commentary.
Yes, he was garbage out there. Okay, so then the Wingman segment happened. Justin, what do you think of the Wingman segment? You have a bunch of people who are not signed by AEW coming out and saying that they're not getting enough TV time on Wednesdays. And I thought it was very peculiar for YouTube people who don't have AEW contracts to come out and say that on TV when you have contracted people in the back who are not on TV.
Did nothing for me. I was just happy to see W. Morrissey.
Well, and then that's the other part of it, right? So then W. Morrissey comes out to defend the honor of AEW, who's also, as of that moment, not signed by AEW. So they're complaining they're not on TV on AEW, and then a non-AEW guy comes out and do something about it.
Unless he is. Go ahead. And we just don't know it because I don't know what's going on with his status with Impact. Because again, I'm like you, I don't know fucking contracts for shit. But it's like I don't know. Maybe he is with AEW now because that was like the only thing I got was him coming out there was that he's not with Impact anymore.
But that can't be the question. We can't say unless he is. We have to know that he is. He has to be established as is. That should have been a Page spot. Hangman Page should have come out and said, no, you guys don't get to come over and run over on this TV when guys like me are sitting in the back waiting. You know what I mean? You don't get to do that. But to have a guy like Morrissey come out, it's kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I mean?
He maybe just wanted to debut him like as a signee, but not tell you that he signed. I don't know what the hell it was. It was just something for him. It didn't mean anything because really all it was Morrissey ending up with freaking Stokely, and it's like, that's cool.
Go ahead.
It's cool and all because I liked Stokely, and I'm like interested to see what he's doing with all these freaking like accusations he's getting. But it's like, what the fuck is W. Morrissey gonna do in AEW? Absolutely fucking nothing, which is bullshit.
Well,
Impact did him so much better.
Well,
and AEW is gonna tank him, and it's gonna be bullshit.
It's not that they're tanking him; they're probably giving him good money, and everyone wants money. Everyone wants to get paid, and of course,
and he'll be on a milk carton like fucking Brian Cage was. We'll be wondering where the fuck W. Morrissey is next.
Well, Brian Cage is getting paid, just like Cole. They're getting paid.
Which is sad.
Yeah, and then the fucking Briscoes, they're all getting paid. And and that's the thing is, it's like Tony's just like, I'd rather have, like, hell. I swear to God, it almost sometimes feels like if who's someone really random, if I don't know, some like random. I'm trying to think of somebody who would be a good example of this. Some random like jobber person who. I don't know, we saw a lot, was around and whatnot, and all of a sudden was like, had some kind of notoriety in WWE. Of course Tony Khan's gonna sign him because he has those 3 letters that come with his name. And that's stupid when you have a lot of people who are talented and are on your roster that we don't see anymore. So am I supposed to believe that someone like, I don't know, Sean Dean is happy just being a dude in the back?
Oh, hell no.
A desk job? No. Just shit like that.
He's literally on Dark every freaking week. Like,
yeah.
And not even on that anymore. Like,
yeah.
That's where Morrissey's going to be in like a week.
Well, you know what?
That's just BS.
You know what? That's where other people who were for a long time. And guess what? They're probably going to go back to that, and it's sad, but
Splinter Fox says that there's still not been confirmed too. There's no tweet or nothing. So yeah, like you said, He may have. I don't think he was signing a contract. I think he showed up to do the spot for Stokely, and they may sign a contract down the line.
No, he's got the W, the W, and the E in his resume. So thus, that means that he's a hot commodity.
It doesn't mean that because he doesn't. Tony likes who he likes is the thing. Like he never wanted Gargano, and he was WWE. You know what I mean?
But Gargano's like boring as shit, and probably people are like, you want to like have snooze fest on your TV, hire Gargano, which unfortunately he also doesn't realize that he has a lot of snooze fest on his own TV. So people aren't going to tell him that.
Yeah, but I mean, Morrissey wasn't exactly lighting it up.
No.
Even as Big Cass, like that was an Enzo show that Big Cass
even
happened to be on.
Those guys, Everrise or whoever the fuck those guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're annoying as shit. Get them off my TV. Why do they get to be on TV every week? Oh, because they're part of Chris Jericho's peoples. I don't fucking care. Get them off my TV. Yeah, get Guevara and his old lady off my TV.
Sunfuck says Hangman's blackballed now because he hurt Punk's feelings. Jeremy in Time says even if he did sign with AEW, Morrissey isn't going to do shit. Archer's a big example that Tony doesn't know how to book big monstrous people.
Nope.
Yeah,
Lance Archer pretty much tell you hands down that that Tony doesn't know how to fucking book big.
Oh, I forgot about Lance Archer. What happened to Lance Archer? Why isn't he in the last match?
Yeah,
went over to do and then finished.
And speaking of which, who is the grayed out person?
The to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
What match is that for?
They get
the casino ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah, probably
another signee. Probably another signee.
The only way would be the rumor Stokely is getting all these dudes for MJF. We shall see. That'd be interesting if they built. But I don't. But what I don't get is that Stokely isn't going after any stars. He's going after jobbers.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Yeah. But best Stokely is with MJF. That's all I know. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, I will say this is what would be hilarious if it's a signee under there. Man, I would love to see goddamn Nick Gage up in that shit. He gives no fucks.
Yeah, he's not.
I can see now you're not using me. I can see him like fucking cutting a promo. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, you don't want to put me
now. Go over there and just murder Punk.
Yeah, I know. I'm wishing.
What? Says Lee and Ego. He says Ego are not jobber. Talking about Ethan Page, he's absolutely a jobber.
Yeah, Ethan Page, unfortunately, is the most disappointing signing. One of the most disappointing signings, I think, that Tony has done.
There's a lot of potential there.
I love him.
One of the best tag teams in the world.
To nothing.
Okay.
Scorpio
then we had the women's tag match. Toni Storm and Shida beat Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Does that mean Britt Baker's winning the championship on
Please
Sunday?
No.
Probably, but I'd actually would really prefer it to go to Tony.
I would
Tony or Jamie Hayter. I don't want Britt with the title again.
Anybody but Britt.
Yeah. Shida's a little boring. You know? I'm like, no. I personally feel that if it's not Tony or Jamie Hayter, then it better not fucking be Britt Baker.
I hope it's not Britt because I don't want to go through another fucking Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker match. Please no.
Oh yeah, for one, and for two, I don't want to go through any more Britt than we already get.
Yeah, I'd rather Jamie win it. Britt get jealous. Mm-hmm. Jamie go out by herself. Jamie beat Thunder. Jamie hold the title, and then beat Britt again because fuck Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says I feel Darius Martin is the Joker in the ladder match. That'd be terrible, dude. You can't.
No, Darius Martin's already in there with his face on the poster.
Is he? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be injured in that match and be out again another 7 months.
Wait, what happened?
Darius.
Wait, what do you mean his face on the poster?
Dante Martin.
I was about to say, but his brother. What about his brother?
His brother's still injured.
No, what if that's going to come back? Yeah, if he comes
Darius?
yes.
Then it would just be
and then he'll just injure himself in that match too.
No,
Just be a waste.
no.
What'd you think
No.
of the Kip
Maybe
Sabian
Scorpio
and Pac
Sky
video
can-
package?
Huh?
What'd you think of the Kip Sabian and Pac video package?
I
kinda
must
like
have missed that.
I kind of liked it. I'm kind of wanting to see it. Like I don't know. Sabian looks different, and I kind of like. I'm interested to see like what he's gonna be like now that he's been gone for so long. He's got this new look to him. Like I'm kind of interested in it because I'm not really crazy for the All Atlantic title. It's just since it's just kind of a worthless title, but at least it's going to be on some kind of AEW TV where it's actually going to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope he wrestles with the box on his head, but
That'd be hysterical.
They should. It's like the Gong Show, the guy that had the paper bag. God, that just dated me.
Yeah. I feel like I liked the video package. I just wish that I had any reason to actually care before this moment. Like, Kip Sabian's been absolutely written off the show for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And never mentioned, and no one cares. And so he gets a title match? Like, is there no ranking system for that title because it's so new? Like,
because it's mixed. It's another one. It's mixed with the fucking world title and the TNT title bullshit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They all share the same rankings, which is the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen.
So then how can Kip Sabian get a title match if he's not had a match in over a year?
He went into business for himself.
Oh, okay. That's something at least.
Smart man.
Yeah. During that match, the trios match.
Yeah.
It's a very smart man right there.
He is. Man, that fucking box, dude. That's why. Wrestle in the box. It would be great if he did like a Twin Magic segment and they switched and it was actually not Kip. And Kip goes and switches out and has the pin. That'd be hilarious.
So no, if Kip wrestles in the box, he'd probably hide under the ring with the box sticking out. Pac would go to grab it and he'd pull it out and there'd be nothing. And he'd be like, surprise, I don't have the box on.
1, 2, 3 pin.
Oh, Spinner Fox says you could put MJF in the ladder match. That'd be interesting, actually.
That'd be interesting.
Jeremy says... He says, I mean, the ladder match is filled with tag teams anyway, so Darius would make sense. Miranda Fox thinks Kip has Joker vibes. I could see that. He says the rankings need to go away, but I think AEW will go away first. And he says at least I'll have GCW and NJPW. But yeah, I thought the package was nice. I just wish that this wasn't the first we've heard of Kip in over a year. I go, he's done nothing and now he has a title shot.
Yeah.
CM Punk comes out, cuts a promo where he overacts, tries real hard. Ace yells at him, and in the span of about 3 minutes, he goes from not being sure of himself, calling a fan fat and saying that he doesn't get laid, to saying that he feels like he let the fans down because he loves them, right on the heels of calling the fan fat, and pointing at him to point him out, to say him right there, the fat one. He's so fat he doesn't get laid, and then he says, "I'm sorry, I let the fans down." The same ones he's pointing at, by the way.
Did he say he let his dog down?
Yeah, he said he couldn't walk his dog, so he cried.
You know what? Big fucking deal, Phil. Wow.
Yeah, he can't walk the dog.
You know who you really let down? You really want to know who you let down, motherfucker? We all know who you let down. Do you need me to tell you? Do you need me to go up there and tell you? Because I'll tell you, motherfucker. You think you got heckled in Chicago? Oh, wait, just ask fucking Ocean Spray. Who's the worst person to fucking heckle them? Guess what, dude? I ain't fucking afraid of you. I'd even hop over the wall. Like, Atlas Security, you need to stand back, dude. I need to say what I gotta say. Then you can...
This also on the heels of the suspension of Eddie Kingston that got widely publicized because Sammy called him fat. It hurt his feelings. He tried to pie face Sammy, and then he's suspended. And then immediately after this comes out, CM Punk goes out there and says, "By the way, this fan is fat." Like,
it's hypocritical to the fucking T.
Like, what the fuck was all that, dude? It was so crazy to me. I'm watching it like, oh, he's trying to get booed. And then I go, wait, no, he's trying to say we are Chicago, and he goes into the fan like fuck that guy, dude. But then Ace Steel goes over and screams at him, slaps him around, and then he goes, I'm fired up now. You've turned me all around. This was 4 weeks of story crammed into fucking 3 minutes. And this was all over the place. And it didn't make me want to see the match anymore. It made me want to see him less. This was so overwritten.
I hated this so much.
Yes, and people say
that right there, him telling off a fan shows he is a two-faced bitch. Can't argue that.
Duh. Duh.
Yeah.
He yelled at the guy because he was chanting Colt Cabana, which I thought
I
was
bet
like...
you. Was
Really?
it? Wait,
That's what it was. That's why. The guy that he called fat and everything was because the guy was chanting Colt Cabana.
Oh!
Wow, that is
Okay.
not a surprise.
Oh my God. Okay. Attention, people. I need to find this man. Can somebody find me the man that got fat shamed by Phil Brooks? I want to know this man's name. I want to hear his story. And I want to shout it from the rooftops, because you know what? If there's any one person that should be feared, and that guy knows it, fucking Phil Brooks, you know it. Oh, my fucking black heart just fucking melted because I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. That was why. I was like, I hope Amanda knows about this.
I didn't know that. Oh
yeah.
My God. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That promo was just absolutely nauseating. Just watching him come out, get all fucking emotional, like, I was 100% cleared, but I'm gonna sell this foot injury because for some reason, and my sister's in the and I'm like, this is fucking nauseating. Like, this is all just a fucking sympathy fucking promo for Punk. Didn't give a shit what he was saying. Ace coming out, and then it was just like, oh, and now we're gonna turn this into a cheap pop fucking segment, right? Yep, and that's what we got. And I was just like, this is fucking a joke.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says Punk is the cancer that is killing AEW. He's one of them.
Episode 1.
Bishop says before the CM Punk promo, Eddie had a match announced, which is true. Eddie Kingston's getting Ishii at the pay-per-view. He said, and Sammy is doing what at the pay-per-view, so after dirt sheets. Yeah. Those aren't as connected as you think. The thing is like Tony said on a media call today that he wanted to put Eddie and Sammy in the ring together, but they don't want to wrestle. So also,
but yet they supposedly made up.
They made up and shook hands because they're supposed to do that to fake it, right? But at the end of the day, they don't want to work together. Although Tony wants them to, they won't. The reason you give Eddie the match and not Sammy is because the crowd and your internet wrestling community is behind Eddie on this one, not Sammy. So Eddie got suspended. You have to reward him with a match. Sammy's not suspended, but he's also not in trouble. He just doesn't get the match.
Well, that's probably his punishment. He's going to get the shit kicked out by Ishii. So,
well, I don't think he's getting that. But Bishop says, but if Eddie is suspended, why does he have the match and Sammy doesn't? Eddie's not suspended anymore. 2 weeks prior to the information coming out, Eddie had been suspended. If you go back and watch the shows, he wasn't on for several weeks, and people were digging in to find out why that was, and that's when they found out the skirmish, more or less. So the suspension was over by the time we found out about it.
That whole thing just disappointed me, to all hell. When I read that Eddie apologized to him, I'm like, this is the guy that we're supposed to come off as. He doesn't give zero fucks. But then he's like, I'm so sorry I slapped the shit out of you, Sammy. And I'm just like, Eddie, what the fuck? I'm like, you're supposed to be the guy that I'm supposed to be terrified of, not the guy that I'm going to walk up to and he's going to slap me in the face and then go, I'm sorry I slapped you. Like, I was just so disappointed by that. I'm like, come on. They are making Eddie look like a fucking chump, and it is sad.
Yeah, I don't like what they've done with him. But yeah, I didn't think there was anything redeeming about the CM Punk promo. I thought that was garbage.
It gets it's okay to fat shame. That's what Tony Khan is saying. It's okay to fat shame, and it's okay to belittle Colt Cabana. Okay, I get it. I get
Well,
it.
no, it's okay to fat
Bishop's-
shame if it's one of my favorites, apparently, because
Bishop saying he should have upheld the suspension. He did. You're not
He did.
listening. He suspended him for 2 weeks. People saw he was missing for 2 weeks. They started digging around to find out why. It was because of all of that. But the suspension was already over. It was a 2-week suspension that we found out 2 weeks after the fact of the moment. So they did uphold the suspension. It wasn't in its entirety, but since they got so much stuff, now they had to shake hands and make a public apology, kind of a deal.
But why didn't Sammy have to go through sensitivity training again?
Well, he already did it, so he's already got the certificate.
Well, he should have known better. He needs to go back because obviously he learned nothing. He
No, he's
learned
got it.
nothing.
He's got it. He knows it.
Mhm.
Jungle Boy and Christian Cage promo. Were you guys into that?
Christian Cage was kind of creepy in that.
He was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I missed everything about it because I'm just like, it's all we've been getting for this whole entire build, and I'm just like, can we just do something different? But no, the whole entire build is just a promo, and then a promo, and then here's a Christian promo, and then another Christian promo, and then here's a Jungle Boy promo, and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to see the match, but it's like the promos I can deal without every fucking week being the same thing.
Yeah, I think the problem is just that they haven't developed into more, right? It's all been the same variation of the same promo for weeks. So it's like, it's kind of like the difference between long-term storytelling and telling a story over a long period of time. It's been really repetitive. We haven't gone anywhere. Like, it started off hot with some cool stuff happening. It was different. Oh, that's new. Oh, that's a twist. That's a turn. And then just for the last, 3-4 weeks or so, it's been like just this static, hold steady kind of a deal. I didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like that was the biggest issue with it, is that it didn't provide new info or a new angle to it. You know what I mean? You just kind of go, oh, okay, we already knew this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, FTR and Wardlow against, I think, Jobbers. Who was it? Vic Capri, Ren Jones, and Silas Young.
Oh,
Those
poor
Jobbers,
Silas.
I know. Poor Silas, man. Shit. That's one guy that needs, well, I don't know what's happening with Ring of Honor, but he was one of my favorites in Ring of Honor. And, but, again, I have no say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is this was kind of opposite of NXT, where the matches on this were not good. In NXT, it was all really good matches with a bunch of really crazy stuff in between. This one was almost staticky.
Yeah. Even the shit in
Dante,
between.
Phoenix, Roosh, and Yuta, I didn't even try to watch. It seems like a match you guys would have liked, if I'm being honest.
Well,
On
It was
paper.
awesome. The shit out of it.
Go ahead, talk about it. Tell me what you like. I didn't bother watching it.
I enjoyed the match. It's just like as Tony was putting it, it was just to get you more excited for the casino ladder match. And I'm just but the ladder match still doesn't mean anything.
yeah.
Yeah, you've had one person win the ladder match that's actually gone on to win the title, being Hangman. But other than that, what is the casino ladder match and or battle royal meant? You literally blow the load by just putting the match, the championship match, literally 2 weeks on TV after the freaking battle royal / ladder match. So what the hell's the difference?
Yeah.
It means nothing. It's literally just TV time to fill, and that's it.
Yeah.
And a way to circumvent the rankings.
Yeah. But it was a good showing by all four of those guys. I will say that. It was a good
Except
match.
for Wheeler Yuta, he did fucking nothing in that match, but he still won the match.
I
And
know.
I was like, he was out of the match the entire thing, and then he just kind of comes in, gets that rolling pin, and got the win. And I was like, did Wheeler even do anything in this match?
I know. I thought that too. And then I was like, okay, I guess somebody's high on either Yuta, which, he's good. But granted, Dante Martin looked great with Phoenix and Roosh. That was a standout right there. And I'm like, I really like this kid. Sometimes I blow hot and cold with him because sometimes he looks really great. Sometimes it's like, no wonder your brother gets injured very easily, and yeah, I don't know, but it was just pretty good. Probably one of the better matches of the evening, to be quite honest.
So Splinter Fox said in the chat, he said this was the match of the night. He said Uden came out as a badass. He said that the ladder match is to bring out a new free agent. and said that more is less. Yuta did his job.
Okay.
So I still don't know why E passed on him. Talking about Dante Martin, I think. I didn't think that they did. I thought that he actually could have gone to either one, but chose All Elite because of the Young Bucks.
That's what I thought too.
So I thought the story was that they didn't pass on him. They offered him a contract, and he goes, I just want to learn from the Young Bucks instead.
Yeah.
Yuta was passed by WWE, he said. Oh, I could see that for sure.
Wow.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying when he first showed up, he was not much of anything to look at, or he wasn't saying much on the mic, and his matches were okay, but I could see someone not seeing something in him a year ago, for sure.
Yeah.
He's definitely come a long way in the last year. I'd be surprised if they passed on him in another year or two. I'd be surprised if they weren't in talks with him to get him at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a year ago, I don't.
I think the next big WWE grab is going to be Starks.
I think that would
because
be
there is not much that AEW can give him because he's going to be a background player. He ain't CM Punk. And so, sweetheart, as much as you want to say you're going to have a great match with CM Punk, no. Phil's only in it for Phil. Phil doesn't give a fuck about you.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like you can't put your chips on, you can't bet it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll hurt you more than it'll do anything good.
They ended the show on a trios championship tournament match. Ospreay and Aussie Open against Young Bucks and Omega.
Okay. I like Aussie Open, I'll say that.
Justin Roberts was taking a bunch of jabs at Ospreay.
No, that wasn't Justin Roberts. That was Kenny Omega via Justin Roberts.
Yes.
Because Kenny Omega is petty as fuck. That was
I
very
think
petty.
He is. Because, so the other thing is this, is Ospreay at the end of the match, because he lost, was sitting on the ramp like John Cena did when he lost to The Rock and stuff. And he was trying to be dramatic, and I get that. And he also tweeted a thing like, a really snarky ass tweet about how thanking Tony Khan for having a mind of his own and bringing him in despite Kenny not wanting him there.
Nobody wants you there, buddy. I don't want you there.
Yeah. And part of me thinks that there's
Well,
something
why are you raising
to
your
that.
hand, Justin? Why, you want him there?
I love Ospreay though. I know you don't like him, but it's like I've always been a fan of Ospreay. I'm just like,
why?
I like the guy is fantastic. I can't not. It's so hard to hate the guy. Like,
oh, it's very easy to hate him.
I watch him wrestle and I just go, oh my god! I put him as fucking possibly one of the best wrestlers today because I watch him and I just fucking love Ospreay. Like the guy is great, and I love the faction. I love United Empire just as a whole. I love everybody in that faction. And it's like even with this whole match, I enjoyed the fuck out of this match. Like I do think the Death Triangle match with United Empire was way better than this. But it's like, but Kenny looked better than he did. Like his first match back, he looked like ass, and then he came back in here and he looked actually better than that. Like the Bucks were tolerable to watch, and it was just like you didn't get a lot of you got a lot of as much as possible of Kenny and Ospreay, and it still left more on the table to want to see more between the two of them. Like I cannot wait to watch a one-on-one again between those two.
I've personally never enjoyed an Ospreay match I've seen. But I mean, like, I kind of get it because he's like, he does really gymnastic-y stuff and really dancey stuff. It's super choreographed, which is kind of nice and impressive in its own way. And I've been to Cirque du Soleil a number of times and really enjoyed it. But I don't get the same competitive feeling with him that I get with most other wrestlers. Like, I get the impression that this is a literal dance, not the way that people talk about, like, when you see really good basketball playing, it's like watching dance because you almost think it's choreographed, you know? Mm-hmm. This is one of those where it comes off like literally you're watching a dance competition. Like, there's no doubt in your mind that these people aren't working together in some way. And I feel like there's no connection. For somebody who wrestles in Japan a lot, he doesn't have any kind of reasonable strong style to him. Like, he makes no connections or any attempt to be hitting hard, you know? Which is fine, but it's just surprising because I thought Japan was pretty adamant about if you weren't going to do that, they were going to eat you up. You know what I mean?
Osprey's in that category for me, like Gargano is. I know you guys don't like Gargano, but it's
I'd
like
rather watch Gargano a billion times.
I absolutely put Gargano and Osprey in the same category. Absolutely.
I love Gargano. I love Will Ospreay. Like, I enjoy the guy. I know Amanda. Like, my first thing that I said when this match happened was, "Who the hell's Amanda root for in this situation here?" Because you're not crazy for Kenny. I know that. Like,
he's okay. Kenny's okay. I mean, it's not that I'm not crazy about Kenny. I mean, he's okay.
I mean, lately,
Kenny as of late, I'm like,
rough.
No, this is not the same Kenny Omega. No.
Spinner Fox says that the current Osprey is better than Daredevil Osprey, and says Osprey's slowing it down and doing crazy shit once in a while. Could reverse almost anything. Some of his reversals are really like nice. Like, he did that one reversal that they were replaying that he turned into like a power bomb, where he was kind of going up for, I forget what they were trying to call the driver, but the idea that you could tell what Omega was trying to do there, I think, is a little silly because he didn't do much but like hold out one arm. And he kind of like rolled around, flipped over, and ended up on the guy's back and over. And I thought that was really neat, the concept of it, but nothing about it looked natural. It's like the opposite of what I say about Ricochet. He has a way of moving his body and getting to a place and position that didn't feel like he was trying to get in that position. Osprey feels like they've super choreographed this to, and then you flip me this way, I land this way, and now we're here. Ta-da. You know, like, I just, when it comes to like suspension of disbelief, nothing Osprey does allows me to do that. It's kind of like, I forget who was saying it with Bishop, but I can't buy what you're not selling was one of their things. It might have been like the Brainbuster Boys or Chat Grappa Pops. But like, that's the idea. I don't feel like Osprey is selling anything, and that goes even more so than...
He never sells anything. Oh my God.
Beyond the idea of no selling a hit, he's not selling his action either. He's not trying to be believable. It's swing dance, which is really cool and impressive.
Which I can do.
Which producer lady swing dances, and it's very cool and impressive. But I don't think they're fighting when they're doing it, and I'm not in a moment of thinking this is competition. I'm in a moment of thinking like,
Fun.
Should I be holding up numbers or should I be cheering for someone to win a fight? Like,
well, apparently people want you to hold up numbers because, oh, he's had so many fives from Meltzer. Who gives a fuck? Uncle Dave doesn't know shit.
About that nonsense. That's
some
Meltzer
bullshit.
himself with that bullshit.
Exactly.
I looked at Meltzer's scale, like star ratings, the same way I always looked at like movie critics, where if they were really going on about something, it might make me go take a look at it, but it didn't make me go say that this was going to be good necessarily. And then certain movie critics would get to a point where I knew that I disagreed with everything they said. So if this person gave a movie a thumbs up, I'd be like, oh, it's going to be pompous and arrogant, and it's going to be a shitty, overwrought movie. Versus some people would give movies like thumbs down, and you're like, oh, this is probably going to be a really fun and entertaining movie. You know what I mean? Like, Meltzer's the same way. He's just another critic. He might as well be on Yelp. You know what I mean? Like, he likes what he likes, and he doesn't like what he doesn't. And for people to like hang their hat on, well, Meltzer likes it. Okay,
I don't care.
I might watch it.
I'm glad I never give a shit about what Meltzer says.
It's made me look up matches I wouldn't have looked up otherwise, but it didn't make me like a match or dislike a match or say that it was good or bad because he said it. It was just like, oh, I hadn't heard of that match. Maybe I should go look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like if I enjoy a freaking match, and that's about where I leave it. You know, if I enjoy the match, I enjoy the match. I don't need Meltzer telling me that you should like the match if I didn't fucking like the match. Like, it's just like, just because he puts it up with this, like, and everybody else hangs on every word he says, like,
it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Even movie buffs wouldn't hang their hat on everything Siskel and Ebert said. You know what I mean? They wouldn't say like, well, they said this. I mean, some people would say they said it got 2 thumbs, so maybe we should check it out because they both liked it, and that was rare. They didn't both like the same thing a lot. But Spinner Fox says, calling it now, Osprey's gonna be the first one to kick out of the one wing angle. It's a great build up. That'd be interesting. If that did happen, that would be interesting to look back on. If Ospreay becomes the first person to kick out of the one-winged angel. It'd be interesting. It wouldn't surprise you? And Sir Flex says, cheers to y'all. It's been real fun. After AEW falls, I hope we put a spotlight on JPW. Please, oh please. Depends on who they got booking. If they got Ospreay over there, I'm not watching it. But I'm glad that Justin is. I'm glad Justin's having a good old time with it. Now with them out, Justin, do you think the Elite take the whole thing, or do you think Hangman and the Dark Order are going to take it?
I feel like I want Dark Order to take it because, again, I want Dark Order to at least get something. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are literally falling apart at the seams every time we turn around, but give them something before you completely get rid of it. Give them something. Just to be a different outcome, because I'm pretty sure at this point everybody expects it's just going to end up on Kenny and the Bucks because, of course, Kenny and the Bucks have to be the first people to hold a fucking championship, which is nonsense.
They can't do that to Hangman twice.
That would be so BS. I would rather it be the Dark Order just to be something different and just to give them something for now. I think them being the head of the trios division is actually a pretty solid way to start it off.
Yeah. And I like how they are rotating people through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually didn't really like how they got to it being Hangman. I
didn't like that either.
I wish they actually had Grayson. I wish they actually had Evil Uno wrestle.
Yeah.
And then took him out. So then it could have been everybody got a chance to wrestle in the Dark Order. And I'd have been well, that's not as bad.
Yeah.
Would it be cool if the Dark Order won and they did a Freebirds rule where because they have more than three, they could rotate who the three are in any given match?
They're probably going to do that because if I'm not mistaken, in New Japan with the Never Trios, and it was on the Elite or Bullet Club, wasn't it flopped around between Hangman and Marty and Cody and somebody else? Or am I mistaken?
I don't think so, because even nowadays they don't do that.
I swear they did that when they had it.
I was going to say they don't even do that now. I don't even know who the Never Openweight tag champions are nowadays. Is it still fucking House of Torture?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Last time I knew it was Evil Show and freaking Yujiro, but I
Maybe
don't really.
Still is.
It's not anymore.
Maybe it's still. I don't know.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says, Hangman, why the fuck's Hangman there? Dumb storyline. You want to bring them back together. Now they're going to face each other. I do think that, however it plays out, that Hangman Page is the deciding factor. He's either going to cost the match for Dark Order because he won't turn on Kenny and the Bucks in some way, or he's going to cheat in some way or do something against Omega, and you know what I mean? He's definitively the deciding factor in this match. And part of me thinks that he's going back with the Elite, and he's going to cost the Dark Order the match. Not by turning on the Dark Order necessarily, but by not pulling the trigger on an Omega or something, or not getting in the way or stopping Omega and the Bucks from cheating. You know what I mean? I think it'd be one of those type of deals.
Maybe.
So I think if you wanted to go with that route, you should have just went with Hangman being the Bucks partner. It would have just been a way better story told in the end. When the Dark Order if the Dark Order makes it to the finals and they're facing Hangman and the Bucks, it would have come off so much better than just going, well, we're going to end up with a final with Kenny and Hangman in the same match again.
Yeah.
Did you know they fought each other before?
Yeah. Forced.
But I think this time that Hangman should come out on top. Because that's what everyone felt in the beginning with the whole title shit. And, that's what's right.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says, I bet Cole cost somebody. I don't think Cole's going to cost anybody the match, but I think that's who's coming out at the end of the show, or at the end of the match. I think Undisputed Era comes out. Or wait, no, it can't be, because Fish is gone. So they can't even do it anymore.
I also wonder if they're... I wonder, the story is that they were supposed to feud with the Elite. That's pretty much what they were telling. but now you got one gone. Like, does this? I'm telling you, does like I talked about this earlier with the league. Is this the thing where it sways? Does this sway O'Reilly and Cole to go? Well, fuck it, we can't tell this story, so why should we stay here? Shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather an Undisputed Era reunion right now at this point. With them being under Triple H's like run, you know they were some of Triple H's favorites. He would fucking book them to the moon and back.
Yeah, but remember, you know, whatchamacallit, his old lady thinks she runs AEW.
Well, let her do that then. She can run the damn place into the fucking ground. I don't care.
Well, she's one of them who is.
Well,
So.
WWE requires push-ups, and I don't know that Adam Cole's willing to do that.
So bitter today. I love it.
Benner Flack says 0-10 going with Andrade would be awesome. Take the mask off, become your own. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Oh, Spinner Fox saying, I want to know who the guy was under contract that Triple H talked to. He thinks it might have been Cole. What I think is funny about that is we know for a fact from other people's interviews is that AEW has been doing contract tampering for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. Adam Cole, Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Stokely. Who's the other one?
Danielson?
No, Danielson was open for a while. Cesaro was open for a while.
Supposedly
was open a while. Jericho?
Supposedly the person that Triple H was talking to was Jericho.
Was Jericho? Okay.
Yeah, Jericho's even come out and said that they were supposedly come out and said that they were talking to him and everything.
Yeah, he did say that. But I was talking about people who we know that Tony Khan reached out to while they were still under contract. So that's why I thought it was so funny that he was adamant. But you're right, Jericho did say that, which I think could be twofold. I don't know that people are watching what Jericho's doing and saying we want that in WWE right now. I wouldn't be surprised to find out that WWE didn't reach out to find out when his contract was over, but leaving it at that. Hey, when can you talk? Because I wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to do something with him. Mm-hmm. But I don't see what he's doing as a viable thing that people would want. And I could also see them wanting to put him in the Hall of Fame. And that could be part of the conversation too, where we won't put you in the Hall of Fame while you're signed with AEW. So when's your contract up? Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And you know he'd want to be in the Hall of Fame, so he'd like wrap that shit quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I
Maybe.
feel like Jericho wouldn't come back unless he knows he's hanging it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know, but all I know is this: it's cruising and selling very well.
No. Justin, with your like of Ospreay and stuff, this match, the trios match, did you think it went really well? Because the parts, because I was watching it and I felt like a lot of it was clunky and things looked like they were missing. And that big move that Ospreay did off the top, where you're supposed to pile drive the guy down, sort of like a Meltzer driving, but like a flip. He ended up with his head up some dude's ass and then fell, and then the guy pile drived him, and I was like, what?
That's a callback. That's a callback to a PWG moment. That's why.
Yeah, but he failed it.
Callback to PWG moment, and he just like, I don't know what the hell happened there. He just over rotated and put his face right in his ass, and I was just like,
you know what it is? He's like 60 pounds heavier than the PWG callback.
Well, that was like the freaking the missed cutter when the camera freaking completely missed it, and then they cut back. It's already over, and I was like, God damn it, camera guy.
Yeah. Which is also funny to me because he was trying to do a callback and then flubbed it, I'll call it. And then the fact that someone posted a video just like 6-7 months ago, maybe less, where they posted a video of Ricochet and Ospreay. And Ospreay had said, I can't even do most of these moves anymore because of all the weight he's put on. And Ricochet responded with like, I could do all of my moves and your moves still, and I'm heavier too now too. Because I put on. Oh yeah.
That was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Cheers to Ricochet.
Like, yeah. He's like, oh, you put on too much weight and you can't move anymore? Because I put on a bunch
that's
of weight
a goat right there. That's a goat right there. If you want to know who the goat of these ones is, that's the fucking goat.
Yeah, Ricochet's
the thing is, though, he's starting to Ospreay's finally able to start to like hit some of the stuff, even with the put on bulk. And I'm just like, like I'm still seeing him do stuff that I remember him doing before he put the weight on, and I'm just like, it's even more impressive now watching him do it because he's bulked up to me.
Yeah.
Like when I watch him do the Sasuke special, the little cartwheel into the flip, and I'm just like, he can still do that bulked up, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Spirit Fox says, I'm still confused why the Empire was in the tournament. They could not put on another trio in there unless Ospreay's AEW. He's not. They did it there because Tony likes to pop the crowd when he can, that's all.
Tony likes to make my life miserable.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I mean, that was basically the show there. Did you guys see the media call stuff that Tony Khan said about Thunder Rosa?
No.
That's pretty cool. Tony Khan says he strongly disagrees with the criticism of Thunder Rosa versus CM Punk's promo time for their title situation. He says if we're speaking honestly, an 8-minute promo with CM Punk is going to draw more than an 8-minute Thunder Rosa promo, and that's what he books for. Tony Khan confirms...
What a piece of shit.
Confirms the Fightful report that AEW learned Thunder Rosa wouldn't be able to compete at AEW All Out a few hours before the promo. They didn't have the opportunity to work a larger promo in that amount of time. They had more time to prepare for the interim AEW title. The other quote here, in quotes, Tony, I give the TV time based on what I believe is going to draw the most ratings. If you want my honest opinion on an 8-minute Thunder Rosa promo versus an 8-minute CM Punk promo, then you're going to get an honest answer. I think the 8-minute CM Punk promo is probably going to do a better rating. As far as match length, I think Thunder Rosa has had some great matches as champion, and to come out and do a live 8-minute promo, I'm not sure that would have been good for the television show. To be honest, especially given where we're at with Thunder Rosa, I found out she was injured a few hours before the live segment. Yeah, he doesn't think
Sounds
that it's a bunch of bullshit. I'll be honest too. I don't believe for a second that he found out hours before.
Nope.
Hell no.
There's not. I think that's part of him trying to save face on why he treats the women the way that he does. I feel confident. Unless you're Britt Baker. I feel confident that the slated time for under a minute for Thunder Rosa was not only the plan all along, it was the plan knowing full well she was injured from beforehand. There was never an adjustment made there, especially if you want to talk the CM Punk route. His debut was given no, I mean, in its debut, there's a lot of good reasons why you would do it this way, but to say you have no time limit on segments and we'll work everything else around that time, and then to say that CM Punk is a better rating for 8 minutes, but I'm going to give Thunder Rosa 45 seconds. It was also 10.5 minutes that Punk got, and Thunder Rosa got 47 seconds. I don't think anyone's saying that Thunder Rosa needs 10 minutes. I think what they're saying is that you gave her 45 seconds.
Hmm.
Like, you could have given her 5 minutes. You could have given her 3 minutes.
But how come Britt Baker got the time she got?
Yep, and Britt Baker had more time in ring in that same show. Britt Baker grabbed a microphone and cut a longer promo cutting down Thunder Rosa and saying she's coming for the title and Thunder Rosa's a bad champion. Then Thunder Rosa got to say that she had to step away for a legit back injury. So it's just a bunch of bullshit. Go ahead, Thunder.
Is it favoritism? Easily. Yes. Favoritism. Like, it's just BS. Britt even used to get all those fucking segments when she was champion. Like, she literally, they'd have to have her cutting a promo backstage where she'd have to do these little fucking digs and at WWE like she always does. Like, she's so witty and clever when she does them, but it's not. Like, it's just, it's clearly fucking favoritism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says, I want to know what Marsh thinks of Thunder Rosa heat with Baker and Jamie, breaking Jamie's nose and hiding in the bathroom. Rumor was Tony was going to win the Sunday. Spinner Fox, what I think is that it's very clear to me that Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter talk to Meltzer on a regular basis. That's what's clear to me, is that you can read all these reports that are coming from Dave Meltzer, and you can see these backstage, behind-the-scenes moments of Britt Baker saying, I wonder what Meltzer's going to think of that. I hope Meltzer gives me that 5 stars on this one. Britt Baker and Jamie are talking to Meltzer and putting out whatever they want out there. Thunder Rosa happens to actually be professional. So I think that's what those stories are, is it's a media hit piece between someone who's a professional and people who are children. I think that's what that is. If I had to venture a guess, being an outsider looking in, who knows nothing.
Women are bitches. I've said that on episode 1. We're bitches. What the fuck, people? We're fucking petty as fuck. You know, there's a way to handle things and there's a way not to handle things. You want to handle things the way Thunder Rosa did. You want to do it with class. You don't want to be some fucking gossip, fucking monging horror, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
this isn't fucking, you know, Mean Girls. Although, yes, I do believe that Britt Baker is the Regina George of AEW.
Yeah. It's why Danny Jordan didn't work out.
Yeah.
She was just playing Britt Baker as a character.
Yeah.
Spin Fox says, I hate these major people that people cling to, in quotes. Yeah, I mean, also, it's funny to listen to, like, the Conrad podcast where they break down some of the Meltzer stuff and the reports, and one of the things they like to do is guess who leaked the information, because it's always slighted towards somebody, or it's all like, oh, this is a report that everyone loves Terry Taylor, and that he's so highly respected that people don't understand how he could walk away, and Terry Taylor's the anchor of this whole thing and the foundation of the creative process. And then it's all like, so Terry Taylor probably talked to Meltzer, and they're like, yeah, obviously, like,
Nobody name drops Terry Taylor's name a lot. Jay Lethal.
Oh, that's funny. And I'm not trying to say that to, like, knock Terry Taylor. I was using him as an example. But there was one where, like, Terry Taylor was released and Meltzer reported this whole thing about how important Terry Taylor was after he was released. And they're like, so Terry Taylor's trying to position his next job and went to Meltzer to help get that word out? I was like, yes. That's how that works. That's what you do. That's what you use Meltzer for.
Uncle Dave will never, ever, 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 ever give Cabana credit where credit is due.
Yeah, because he doesn't talk to Meltzer.
No.
If Colt Cabana kissed Meltzer's ass, then he would be...
No. And Colt's never been one to do that. No.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't.
No. Janela? No.
Yeah.
I think he told us Meltzer once, too, if I'm not mistaken.
That's awesome.
I'd have to ask. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Because that's a company that gives no shits about fucking Uncle Dave. GCW. Did no shit. That's how it should be.
Spinner Fox says the SRS bitch too, and that is why I don't go to internet wrestling news. It makes wrestling more fun. Dude, it always does. I was actually really disappointed today when I got on Twitter and all I saw 4 or 5 tweets in a row was Braun Strowman's signed with WWE. I was like, oh, come on. Like, I don't want to know that. I just don't.
No. Your Twitter's different than mine, because what happened yesterday, I go on and I see 4 tweets in a row. Will Ospreay's the GOAT. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you guys trolling me?
Oh, yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
I've tried posting all the news, and I still get these fucking wannabe journalists, and it's just like,
oh. So funny.
Yeah. It's a sad day when you see someone reporting, one of these internet journalists reporting something that you said. I always laugh. I'm like, wonder where'd you get that from?
Yeah, there's
one I'm blocked by a lot of people.
There's one I saw or I heard that I listened to that was a lot of people listen to, and it was funny because they're like, no other show said anything like this, and we've been right about this, that, and the other thing, and no other show ever got anywhere near this. And I was like, we talked about that for weeks. You're not the only show. I'm not saying you got it from us, but I am saying you're not the only people out there who can obviously tell this shit too.
Yeah, but we have influenced quite a bit, I will say. And if it sounds like I'm a bitch and snobby for it, well, then you know what? I'm a snobby bitch, because it's true.
Splinter Fox says you have to make a wrestling Twitter and a regular Twitter so you won't get any spoilers. No, that's just it, Splinter Fox. I only have Twitter for wrestling. There's nothing else on the internet that I care about. I do things in my real life, and then I go on the internet for wrestling. That's it.
I'm still waiting for the day that Instinct Twitter will come back. Man, I used to think that was like...
Which Twitter?
Insync Twitter.
Oh, Insync Twitter. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be a good day.
That's when I started on Twitter back in the day, 99. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, yeah, I thought those people were fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Nope. You internet wrestling people, man, you fucking take the prize. That and New Kids on the Block fans.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are pretty bad.
Spinner Fox does ask a really good question that we can end the show on here. He does say, when is the next Mission Pro? And the answer to that is September 17th. If you follow at WOTR the show on Twitter, on your wrestling Twitter, because I know you have a different Twitter for non-wrestling, we retweeted it today. She was Thunder Rosa was doing an interview with who was it? Jose Arredondo, local news, talking about Mission Pro Wrestling. And we posted that clip there, but they did put it over and talk about it. September 17th is the next Mission Pro.
Yeah.
Obviously, Thunder Rosa will not be wrestling on that one, but she's been not wrestling on there for a while now, and I think there's a reason for that.
I hope that she would come back, like, for that my birthday AEW show, which is on a Tuesday and not your normal Wednesday.
That'd be nice.
I would have been a girl. Let's do a wrestling on the rocks, like a drinking taco.
Welcome to the jungle.
Do you have any matches listed there?
Mhm.
It's called Welcome to the Jungle. You can go to missionprores.com, I believe. missionprowres.com for the
MissionProWrestling.com.
missionprowrestling.com. All right. Oh, but is there
Is Kylan King on that card?
Is at Mission Pro Res.
at Mission Pro Res is their Twitter for their wrestling Twitters. But we don't see the card yet.
No.
Sorry.
Trying to get to it. Just filling a little bit there.
No, because I was funny because I remember that Tony was just singing the praise of Kylan King. I'm like, she's been, busting her butt for you for quite a while. Just sign her.
I haven't done shit.
Like everyone's picture on it.
Seven pictures. I do see Maddie. I know that Splinter Fox says
Ooh,
he
I love Maddie.
She is on the poster. Maddie Thunder Rosa's on the poster too, but I'm sure she's just always there.
Yeah.
But she doesn't wrestle on those very often. Do you see Kylie King? I see Haladad.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I think it's Kylie King on the
I
left.
think it is.
Yeah. I think so. But we don't see the match card there. But if you go to missionprowrestling.com, you can probably find more information if you dig around a little bit more.
And you can watch on live when it's on.
Yeah, they do it live. But September 17th, so 2 weeks away, so you'll be able to ingest Clash at the Castle. Which, by the way, earlier Splinter Fox says WWE's got to step up their game because he said Riddle and Seth and Bayley are the only storylines that are any good right now. Like, are you not watching Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens right now? Like, you're out of your mind, dude. Like, there's some of the best TV in the world, Sami Zayn talking to Roman the way he does. It's incredible.
Sammy and Roman bonding times. That's great.
It's amazing. Justin, I loved it. When Sammy was knocking on the door and Jay's like, you got to go, and you just hear Roman off camera. Hey, who's out there? And he just, it's just me. Sammy goes, well, what are you doing out there? Come on in. I was done.
I just love his whole thing when he was sitting there with him, and he's just like, I'm going to have a picnic, do a little dance. And I'm just like, that is fucking wonderful.
Good. But yeah, he says Title Match Network is correct. That's where you can stream it at. Anything else you guys wanted to say before we do last call?
Tomorrow will be very interesting because I think this is going to be probably the first time that Hobbs and Starks will probably become face to face before Sunday.
Yeah, I thought it was bogus. They didn't let them do anything.
Dynamite, because they're on Rampage.
Yeah.
A live Rampage though. Mm. So, but again, there's a pecking order. They're not on that pecking order. So
true.
But, obviously this is one I'm kind of torn, but to be quite honest, there's only one way it really should go. If Starks does not win this,
it's going to be bad for him.
I think his days are kind of done at AEW.
Yeah, I agree. I know we talked about it before. That might be the one match we actually pop in and do a little watch along for and then wrap it up after that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be around the computer for a lot of that stuff. So if people want to do stuff, just hit me up because I'll be doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you and I. Yep. And I promise I'm not going to go overly crazy. If I cry, it's real emotion, because These are both like two really good dudes, and I'm super duper proud of them. So
Yeah, they're killing it.
Yep.
They're both killing it. So, Justin, you want to tell people where they can find out more about you and your ramblings?
Basically only on Twitter, JustinTime211. In Time Wrestling Podcast. Me and my brother, we just like to rant and rave about pro wrestling. So it's our thing. Well, damn, we have a fun time doing it.
the bros in time.
Yep.
Do regular weekly reviews, classic reviews, doing a classic review. Gonna record it tomorrow. Gonna be fun as hell. We just did an NXT takeover. Was our next classic review. So probably not gonna do a weekly review because saving it for the pay-per-views. So the next episode from us after that will be probably the Clash of the Castle, Worlds Collide, All Out review, which will probably be on Monday after we watch it on All Out on Monday, because I'm probably not going to be able to watch All Out live. So
Sounds good. Sounds good. You can find MsAmandaJayne on Twitter with a Y. I'm at Ref Marsh. We're at WTR the show. Guys, we'll probably be talking to you a little bit over the weekend as we get through Clash of the Castle, Worlds Collide, AEW, All Out. And let's see, Spin Fox saying he wants dibs on my Doink if I sell it. And did he get the Ultimate HBK Fan Edition on Amazon? I did not. No. I'm not as big an HBK fan as you might think. But I got the Ultimate Edition Bret Hart. And I got the Diesel. I got Stone Cold. I got the Doink. I got the Becky Lynch. I'm particular about what I collect. I collect moments. Like, I've got two different Baileys. I have the Bailey where she first went to WrestleMania and the Bailey where she came out as a heel. I don't have any of the other Baileys because other moments weren't as meaningful and impactful to me when I watched. I have one Daniel Bryan toy, and it was when he has the eco-friendly title, because that was a moment. You know what I mean?
That is a moment.
But that's kind of how I collect toys, because otherwise I would spend thousands on toys and have nowhere to put them. So I got to get just these moments and these people that were impactful to me at that time.
So no, I guess there's no CM Punk limited edition AEW one in your future.
I have no AEW figures at all right now. I've thought about getting the
Thunder?
Dustin Rhodes, but realistically, I probably would get the Blood Brothers, the Blood and Guts one with Dusty and Dustin and Cody.
And Thunder.
I'd get Thunder Rosa. I'd probably get a Ricky, but that's probably it. That's probably all.
Thunder, I don't think I've seen a lot of people get the chase of Thunder.
I haven't seen too many of those.
No, everyone's getting Darby, which is pissing me off. But, again, if you find one, please get me. I'm not going to pay you $200, people. Yeah. But I'll pay you.
We will see you down the road, guys. Thank you for coming out, hanging out, having a drink with us, your drinking buddies. Guys, we'll be back for another one right here in the dive bar of the IWC. That's the last call.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers.
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.